Ah, shit, I fucked up. I thought I got rid of that. There we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the O.O.C. Roberto is not here right now, so I'm hoping he will come in. Sent him a message, but I had a special guest to bring on. It's Ashley. She's here, and I guess she'll be co-hosting with me until Roberto comes in. What's up, Ash? How you doing?
What up, what up, what up? I'm good. How are you, Mr. Biggerford Entertainment, Nzo?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I can't complain. Not too bad. You want to tell the people about your channel real quick?
Well, right now, not doing a whole lot. Still that video. Like I've had, Nzo, this video is coming out soon. If I can get over my crazy mind, but I'm here. I'm on different channels right now too. So that's what I'm doing. And always happy to be here with Nzo.
Always a pleasure.
Always happy.
Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you. Thank you very much. The O.O.C. OCC.
Yeah, I said I messed it up. See, I'm already messing up, guys. You know what I mean? You can't you forgot the thing. I can't get the name of the show right.
What's up, Murder Hornets Review? What's up to the people in the chat? Oh, my boy made it. What's up? Oh, that's Sean Avery. What's up, Sean? You pop in and put Roberto's name on there. Nah. How you doing, man? You good?
Oh, yeah, good.
All right, glad you could make it. I just want to say what's up to the people in the chat real quick. We got Caleb in the house. We got Drago, Bazel, LD, Danny's in the chat, Dandylions in the chat, Mads Mama Bear's in the chat. Thank you guys very much for popping in. Pillowhead, Andrea, much respect. Tony Robinson, thank you guys.
Thanks, Tony.
Hi, Tony. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Mads Mama Bear. Hi, everyone else.
Glad you guys can make it, and you guys seen the title.
I'm sorry, that was rude.
She's like, hi, Sean.
No, I mean, I was saying hi to everybody in the chat, and then I didn't say hi to Sean, so it was like an awkward hi because I feel like I messed up.
Sean must have been watching the show to realize that Roberto wasn't here because he put Roberto, and I should have known because Roberto's Trendy Mendy on the shit, but whatever. Anyways, guys, what's up? How you guys doing? Much respect. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday. We got a few good topics here tonight. As you see, we're talking about Ottawa and the things that are going on with the truckers. We also got the Black Lives Matter leader getting fired. And we also have Joe Rogan using the N-word. So it should be a fire show. Much appreciated for everybody that came in to check it out. Sean is Canadian, so we're going to start off with, of course, what is going on with the truckers. What are your thoughts on it, Sean? Because I don't think you really talked about it yet.
Well, I jokingly talked about it because somebody brought it up one time on MSK stream, and then I was being sarcastic about it with what I said, but people didn't get the sarcasm and they got pissed over what I said. But I mean, like, they have the right to protest. Sure, I'm not a huge fan of some of the things they're doing though during it. Definitely not. But
so that's the one of the topics I wanted to get into real quick too, right? Was because I know a lot of people are streaming it and they're showing, a lot of good things going on, protests are going on and, no violence or nothing like that. But I've actually spoke to a few people from Ottawa where they said that there's some kind of shit that's like people are going into malls, right? And going in without their mask and telling people to take off their mask, don't wear your mask. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, and people seem to skip over that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, You know, it kind of reminds me of like those protesters that like sit on the road blocking cars.
Pillow has said it's not even up to debate. Listen, I understand what they're fighting for, and I agree with it 100%.
Yeah,
You
I
know
just
what I
don't
mean?
like some of the things they're doing in the process.
Right. And it's probably just a minority, right? But the fact that it's happening, and you know, government's coming out, Trudeau's coming out and saying these things are happening, and people are saying it's a lie and it's not true, and that's because we're not seeing it. But when you speak to a couple of people that are there, they'll tell you like it's not as peaceful as people are saying it is. Now I don't know because I'm not there, but the people that have told me are trusted, you know what I mean, like family members and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. At the end of
There
the day,
was
yeah,
somebody
go
who
ahead.
like sneaked in pretending he was one of them and like reported on it and took photos.
Oh really?
A couple of them were being racist.
Okay, so you see, there's stuff like that. I've seen a video with a swastika flag going around, but I only seen one. So at the end of the day, there's always bad apples in the bunch, and I get it. But should that be taking away from what is actually people are fighting for? And I don't think so. You know what I mean? We, at the end of the day, we need our freedoms back, right? And we have a video over here, of course. Let me just see if I can find this video real quick to pull up. Ashley, what are your thoughts? Because I know you're from America and you don't really know much about it, but you've been.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that I asked you, you know, the way that it was in certain reports that I've seen that it wasn't as big of a deal as it was being made out to be, and then you obviously told me otherwise. I would say I am pro vaccinations. We know this, but also I've said this, you know, just because my field and what I do for a living, but I'm also in the mindset that at this point, trying to get things back to a sense of normalcy is important, right? It's not going away, you know. I say be vaccinated, but if you're not, you're not. And I'm not going to condemn people who are not and who don't feel that it's the right choice for themselves. And I think that, you know, easing up on some of these mandates is the best way to go about it, really.
I agree with you 100%. Especially Alberta has actually got rid of the passport mandate now. They said if they're done with it, they're trying to get back to normal. Quebec has lightened up. They still didn't get rid of the passport stuff, but I think at this point, I think we do need to actually, you know, we need to stop these things. You know what I mean? We need to stop the passport stuff, and you know. So here's one of he ran for prime minister, but here's what he had to say on it.
Protest normally is focused on the government, on raising concerns about a policy, a legislation where you pressure the government to change their decision. In this case, the brunt of the impact of the presence of the convoy targets the citizens. The loudest noise, the fireworks, the honking are happening at night when no one is in Parliament, and it is targeting families and kids and children. It has been one of the worst lockdowns for many small businesses since the entire pandemic. The downtown core was set to open up, and were unable to do so. Many small businesses had to shut down because they couldn't get into the center. They couldn't leave. Right. Protest normally is focused on the government, on raising concerns about a policy, a legislation where you pressure the government to change their decision. In this case, the brunt of the impact.
It just repeated itself. So yeah, and I've heard that too, right? So I heard that there were a few businesses that couldn't open because people were running into the businesses. They're trying to like use the bathroom and stuff like that. So there are some bad parts to it. Like it's not all as peaceful as people are saying it is, you know? And I'm still for it. Oh shit, my bad. I'm still for it. I still want everything removed. I still want the mandates removed. Shit, I want to be able to go see the Batman movie when it comes out. You know what I mean? So
that's what it's all about, bro. It's just about the Batman.
Yeah, I mean, there is like a point that people make saying that there are always bad apples in every like protest, like there were in like the Hong Kong protest to liberate one. There weren't the Black Lives Matter one. Like, there was even a report of one person just shoot. I don't know if I didn't totally fact check it, so I don't know if it's true, but there was like a couple articles I read about saying like somebody just saw a white woman and then screamed Black Lives Matter during that. I don't know if it's true, but so there are bad apples, but I mean, majority of the time I say, yeah, I mean, there always are, though, just
right, and
don't be one of them. This one, though, I think there's enough of them where I do have to point it out, though, in this case.
And to be real, they could be plants. You know what I mean? They could be plants in there to try and take away from what is going on. That's definitely a possibility as well. So I'm not saying that, everything is all bad, because from what I've seen, and I'm going to show a video, like this is the kind of stuff that they're showing, you know what I mean? And I see it going on. And like when I'm my boy Fat Steven Seagal, he does like streams it every day, and there's nothing but loveliness, you know what I mean? Like, this is what we see. This is what you see all day, every day. People partying and, you know what I mean, laughing and dancing and stuff like that.
Oh, what city is that in?
This is in Ottawa. It's all in Ottawa. Right? So people are partying, people are dancing, you know what I mean? People are waving the Canadian flag. It's all love. It feels good. But there's another side to this too.
Hey, right? Roberto's in the chat.
Oh, wait.
Oh, he is? Oh, what's up, Roberto?
I also don't get some of the people like tweeting about, I don't like that as well, because there's like some people just tweeting out fake information and try to make them look bad, but then there's other people that say that, but then when something actually does happen, they say something like, oh no, he wasn't screaming racist stuff, he was screaming homophobic stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, because that's much better. Wow, okay.
Right, exactly. Roberto, I sent you the link on Facebook.
And I was gonna say, I do know Mad's Mama Bear. She brought it up earlier. I know this is like not on topic, and I don't know if he was having trouble with StreamYard. I know with me lately, when I've try to use Internet Explorer or any other like internet browser outside of Google Chrome, I cannot get into StreamYard. So I have to use Google Chrome. I don't know if he was having that issue, but I just wanted to.
Yeah, no, I have to use.
He says, "Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Waiting for the link."
I sent it to you on Facebook. I didn't send it to you.
I thought maybe it was the browser. I know when I use Google Chrome, it works for me.
I always use Google Chrome. That's the one.
You're welcome, Mads Mama Bear.
Hold on, Roberto. I could have swore I sent you the link. My bad. So yeah, as I was saying though, there is another part to it. Imagine living there, right? And having to hear them cars honk constantly, night in, day out, right? Just hear the honking. Holy, wait, I didn't send this guy the link. Shit.
I've done that before. I've like actually what I've done on Twitter is like I've like typed it.
Oh man,
and then not hit send.
I did send it to him. I just sent it.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, with the recent comment there, yeah.
Which one? Let me go to
by Dan DeLine.
This is exactly the opposite of all the bad press the BLM protests got hypocritical coverage.
I mean, honestly, it kind of reminds me of like that. I forgot what it's called again, but like the 67 or whatever, like those protests in like Chicago and stuff. Or it's like they try saying that the protesters were at fault because it's like
right.
So it's like one person like out of the whole bunch threw like a glass bottle, like not even near them, just like somewhere. And then they're like, oh, they started it. It's like, no, the police started it. It's like,
well, exactly. And one thing that I noticed is, when you have a lot of police presence at a function, that causes tension as well, too.
And when they block their way, block all exits.
Right.
That's a safety issue too,
But as a thing, though, just imagine because you guys that don't deal with winter, you don't know about that fucking truck that comes around 5 o'clock in the morning. Roberto can verify this. That fucking warns you to move your car because they're going to remove snow. That fucking sound is so loud and annoying. It's fucking unbelievable.
You're talking about ice trucks, like the salt trucks. I mean,
no, snow removal trucks, right? So before they're removing the snow, like when the piles up or whatever,
I know what you're. Yeah,
right?
those.
They'll come in the morning, and that truck will come around, and that truck will make this fucking noise. It is loud as hell, and it wakes everybody up out of their sleep. Like when you hear that shit, it's like, oh, you motherfuckers, right? So I'm just like, just imagine having to hear people honk their car at 12 o'clock at night.
Not a car, a truck.
Their truck, right?
That's
exactly.
Crazy. Because like you all deal with winter on a whole other level, but I know like about like snow removal trucks and like the salt laying trucks, but my house is so far back, so I don't hear them. But you all constantly have that going on.
Roberto, you know the sound I'm talking about, right?
That's also dangerous. Yeah. Like if you think about like, what if one of these snow piling trucks are coming through, and then there's people in the way? It's just like it's a safety issue and it's a hazard because they're not able to do their job, which then makes the road safe for people that need to then go on those roads to get to wherever they need to get to. So it's just like it's just crazy.
Well, Dandelion said someone started a fire at a lobby and taped the door shut. Not cool. I didn't know that.
They showed it.
Oh, did they? Really?
And some guy random walking by saw the fire and put it out, because had he not, that shit would have been headline news. That would have really taken this to another level.
Wow. So what are your thoughts, Roberto? Because I'm sorry, I sent you the link, though. You had the link, right?
Well, look, I was just chilling. It's a nice night. I was blazing. I was like, you know what? Something don't feel right. I said, where's my phone? Oh, shit. I came inside. I saw you sent the link, man. I clicked on the link and it told me create a broadcast. I'm like, what?
Okay. Yeah.
And then I was reaching out to you. You didn't respond on your phone. So then I logged in. I was in the text. Andrea saw me. Mad saw me. And I could just see you talking, but I don't hear what's going on. I'm like, what's going on here? Can't be the weed. It can't be the weed. Shit. So on another level, I support the cause, but like anything that takes place these days, you have these mofos who just want to come in there and disrupt and kill the cause. And the cause is no longer the front line. It's what they're doing. Because what SWAT stickers got to do with what they're trying to prove over there?
Facts, 100%.
So 100%. I support them. I think enough is enough. When we're sitting here watching how the U.S. is going on, and you don't hear no big headline news on any of their broadcasts. Hundreds of thousands of people are sick at the Knicks game. Man, you look at their stadiums; they're fucking packed.
Facts.
And a lot of for those
50 people in arena.
Those stadiums, you have to have proof of a vaccination or proof of a negative COVID test. That's how it works. A lot of these large events, they still do that here. So to go into these big events,
but at least you give purpose for those non-vaccinated.
Exactly, you have
to get vaccinated. Well, here they don't.
I know, and it's and we got, like I said, you got to start trying. We got to live with it at this point, right? And try to move forward, and it's not going anywhere, right? And just trying to take the best safety precautions you can is the best way to move forward, instead of like being like, you can't leave your house, you can't do this unless if you're not vaccinated. Because I will be devil's advocate a little bit just about them partying in the streets, not about them being violent. Just think about these people have literally been locked up, right? Yep. So it's just like the old adage about the preacher's daughter, right? When she gets out, she's brand new, right? Because she's not experienced the world. These people have literally been locked up in their homes, not been able to do anything, and they're like, you know, in the streets partying. It's not
Right.
but you have to think that some of that mentality is you get into this mentality where you're locked up, which drives you absolutely insane, you know. So of course they're acting out. I'm not condoning their behavior, but if you think about it in ways you can see it, why people might be reacting in like, oh, it's a party, you know, I'm out, I'm, you know, and I'm dancing and we're having fun, even though people are being, you know, hurt in other ways.
Mhm.
So that's the only point that I was going to make, it just about the people dancing, not about people being hurt or violence or anything like that.
Well,
I
correct me if
agree.
I'm wrong.
Go ahead,
Back in the
Roberto.
day, in the labs, didn't they used to take rats and mice and put them, you know, subdue them in a tight quarters and watch them go nuts?
Mhm.
And then, you know, put them in population and the one that was sorry, the one that was locked up attacks the civilians per se.
Right.
And now we're their experiment. Because,
Yeah.
you know, you're locking people up, people aren't behaving and thinking properly. It's gotten to the point where it's become the norm. And for those of us who are still trying to hang on, it's like, what the fuck's going on? And you see there's few and few of those people asking those questions.
I agree. And let me answer this question real quick because Danny said you will get used to it. It's like living by the railroad tracks. As time goes by, you won't even hear the horns honking. I live by the railroad tracks and I don't even hear it anymore. Railroad tracks are different, right? This sound is meant to wake you up. That's how loud it is. It is meant to wake you up. And that truck will circle the block like 5 times. Just wah, 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 wah. And it's fucking frustrating, bro. It is
What about
fucking
those people in Ottawa? You
right.
know,
That's what I'm
that
saying.
truck is ringing constant. I don't think trains pass by 24/7 on those tracks because if it did and you still live there, you're
Right.
special, man. You're special. But them
Right.
trucks are running their fuel to run their air horns and refueling to keep running their air horns. And, you know, one air horn, if someone rings an air horn and you're caught off guard, your heart is palpitating, man.
And
That's
your
Yeah.
how
truck,
loud.
Absolutely.
That's how loud that sound is.
see, our trucks don't do that. Like you can like if I'm like up and about or something outside, like when a truck goes by or something, like I can hear it, but like they're
Mhm.
not like blowing horns and you just
You know,
hear
Where
you
the
just
truck
hear it
Hanzo's
coming
talking about, it's
through.
like a bomb is coming.
yeah, right.
And
Matt said she yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
you're like, motherfucker, move your car
yeah.
already.
For
Tow it
real.
away. Like, what the
For
fuck?
real. For real.
It's
Matt
crazy.
says she don't know which truck we're talking about. Good for you. If you don't know it, that sound, good for you because that sound is piercing, man. Like it's like Roberto said, it's just a piercing sound. It's fucking annoying, right? Yeah, so true. That truck makes you jump and run to the window. It drives me
Because you
crazy,
think your
bro.
car is there. It's hot. You stole
Right.
pyro. You forgot where you parked.
You know what I
You know what I
mean?
mean? Fuck.
So there's another article that I had here, which I'm gonna bring up real quick. Um, here we go. So this article says that almost 2/3 of Canadians oppose the trucker protest. The poll suggests. What do you think about that,
Where was this
Roberto?
poll done? Where was this poll done? In
What was the
Um,
number
somebody's
again?
basement.
2/3. So almost 2/3 of Canadians oppose the Ottawa protests against COVID-19 measures, with more than 4 in 10 saying they strongly consider the demonstration a selfish display, the new poll suggests. But almost 30% of Canadians surveyed by the Leger and disagreed with that characterization of the demonstration against COVID-19 measures that has seen hundreds of large trucks create gridlocks and incessant noise in the nation's capital.
You know when you say enough is enough,
Mm-hmm.
that's when shit like this happens.
For real.
I'm sorry, it didn't happen the first month of this COVID. We're going 2 years now. You
Mm-hmm.
don't think people had enough of this shit?
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much to say that all of these people are non-vaccinated. I would like to think that 2/3 are not vaccinated. Not even that high. That 2/3 would relate to the difference of who is and who isn't vaccinated at these rallies. Because I'm vaccinated and I support them.
Right.
Because if you can't tell me that I got vaccinated and I'm treated any different than a guy who isn't vaccinated, then what the fuck? I know I got vaccinated not to get sick. But at the same time, I'm not thinking conspiracy like they put some shit in me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see millions of people dying that haven't been vaccinated. These tactics that they use, they're just too scare tactic. When you tell me that now 99% of the people dying in hospitals are non-vaccinated, everybody's saying 99%. How is that possible?
Yeah.
Is
Actually,
it really?
And I tried to find it too because I seen a thing and I tried to save it where it said that most of the people in the hospital they said were vaccinated. And I was like, wait a minute, that can't be right.
When's the last
So-
Those are the
someone
people
told me this?
surviving. I mean,
Yeah,
Was that-
I never looked into that, but I just did. I was watching the news before.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They did say it on TV like 95% were unvaccinated, the ones dying.
Oh, now it's 95. Sorry, they dropped.
Well,
it 4
around
points.
95 to 99, whatever they said it in like 90s. I don't know.
They just throw that number out. Like I feel they just throw it out randomly. I don't think there's really a study that proves this because again, like I said,
I don't think
regarding Montreal,
they've done a study yet. I don't know.
no, because if they do the study, they might prove themselves wrong, and they can't be wrong because then they can't put it in play if they're wrong. You can't question them. They can't do no wrong. They're aliens because everybody else seems to be wrong.
Well, Dandelion Fluff said our hospitals went up this week. They won't relax our rules until they go down in BC. Most people support the rules. Alberta has got rid of all their COVID restrictions. They got rid of all of their COVID restrictions. And I think we all need to follow suit. At this point in time, I think we need to follow suit and just
is there a bigger percentage in people that catch it now that they got rid of the rules, or is it about the same as every other province?
They just did it like a few days ago, so I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, they just did it a few days ago, so we'll see about that. But what we should protest is the failure to make change to our healthcare system to deal with the fluctuating caseloads. I mean, I agree with you on that too, because most of our
could
doctors,
be a bit better, yeah.
Right, but I also believe that at this point, like we're locked down and we shouldn't be. We sat here in Quebec on New Year's watching fucking people in New York party and go out on New Year's Eve and have fun, and we couldn't leave our house at 10 o'clock.
Well, let's take it to another level, Nzo.
Yeah, go ahead.
These guys are always bashing their people or their guy in Ontario there. What's his name? Ford, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he removed the mandates on gyms and bars, he said, say he said it on Sunday. He said Monday, gyms and bars are open. You know what happens in Quebec?
Mm-hmm.
In 2 weeks,
open
the gyms why 2 fucking weeks? Tell me why 2 weeks, man. Why can't you do it tomorrow? Like when you fucking dropped this COVID rule and the curfew, it was the next day. You didn't give us 2 weeks to inhale it, to get ready for it and deal with it, maybe go out there and buy a whole bunch of toilet fucking paper and shit. They didn't give us any choice. They just did it. But when it comes back to going back to reality, whoa, take it easy. No rush, right? Wait 2 weeks. So now you're here sitting 2 weeks like it's fucking 2 weeks to Christmas, waiting. And something could happen in that 2 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm. So you personally, you can't go to the gyms. How is it affecting you?
It's not only the gym, Nzo. It's the hockey. And I'm sure there's other people besides me who spend money for extracurricular activities that you can no longer do. And it gets to you because it's a lifestyle. It's not so much that it's a habit, it's a lifestyle. When you take that away from you, it affects you. I don't care who you are. And now you get to the point where it's becoming so normal not doing it. When it comes back to doing it, do I still have the passion? Do I still really want? Is it still that much to me? I mean, I went all this time not doing it.
I feel you 100%.
It's there's no. I mean, there are people that are having some positives out of this, but it's rare and few because there's just so much negative surrounding us. It's so hard to avoid.
I agree 100%. What are your thoughts, Sean and Ash? What do you guys think?
I mean, yeah, I agree. Both sides, yeah. It's a change.
100%. I agree. So,
sorry, where's Avery from? I haven't even met him.
Vancouver.
Vancouver. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Donnie Vine said the sheer volume of cases means vaccinated people are in the hospital too. Absolutely, 100%. But what I'm finding out, and like I said, with this Omicron strain, that people aren't dying as much as they were with the original COVID, with the original case.
With Delta.
And with Delta, right?
I think Delta was a little worse, maybe.
Yeah, it was.
I think, it was.
Omicron is just more contagious.
Yes, it is.
Right. And that's the thing, right? So I get it. Yeah, it's a strain on our hospitals and stuff like that. But I mean, if it's like getting sick, you know what I mean? Like people are.
When's the last time someone said, I'm sick, I have a cold? You can't even say it.
Right. Because it's either COVID or you're not sick, right?
Or you got the symptoms. Are you false negative, false positive? you got to be something. You can't have a cold anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, for some reason, ever since COVID happened, I haven't actually had just a regular cold, though.
For real.
And if you did, you question it.
Yeah.
Are these COVID symptoms? Should I go get a test?
Yeah, Andre said Alberta got rid of theirs at midnight last night, I heard. And I agree with, and I believe that's what they did last night too. So, was it last night? Yeah, because I read it a few days ago. Daniel Fine, so you still have a higher chance of dying or getting long COVID if unvaccinated. Hey, that's fine. I agree with you. But there's one thing that I'm gonna show, and I agree with this 100%. Hold on, let me put this up real quick. Let me share this video file. Oh, and I'll show that too after, because we were talking about the truckers and everything, right? So let me show this one first real quick. This is a resident of Ottawa having an issue.
Yeah, we're filming you. For what? Coming out, people attacking them. Attacking them? You're honking at me. You almost hit my car. He almost hit my car. You didn't even see. He almost hit my car. What's the problem? You guys are fucked. You know that?
You are fucked.
No. Why I said go back to the country? Because you don't care. You don't care about blacks, Asians, anybody like that. You don't care about anybody like that. What are you doing? Get out of here.
I dare you.
I'm not going to touch you, obviously. Stop filming me.
Fucking Canadians are going nuts, man. We're making American news.
It's crazy,
man.
eh?
Yeah,
it's
crazy. You see on the ticket line there.
Ashley was just like, "Oh, I thought you Canadians were so nice." I'm like,
I know.
Well, but you see, they put us in cages.
Yeah, no. When
I mean, but it drives you mad. Like, I know how I felt. You know, at first,
especially the ones who don't smoke weed.
You know,
right?
Like,
yeah.
You know, and that was when like going back to, you know, I am boosted and all, right? And I got COVID. You know what I'm saying? And I had COVID on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, all of that. Okay. Literally drove me insane because I was not around anybody, you know, just like, and I mean, I was sick. I'm boosted and I was sick for 10 days.
What?
Yes. Yeah. And it's like, and I went and this is the first time and all the time, testing people, working, traveling, didn't have it. My DoorDasher gave it to me.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's fucked
Was
up.
he not masked up?
No.
See, our door dashers, they have to be masked.
I mean, he
up
was
here.
supposed to based off the company's policy, but also
Right.
I was just like, it was such a quick handoff. But come to find out, my DoorDasher gave me COVID.
And we don't have to have contact with them. They'll leave your shit in front of you.
No, they usually don't either. But like this time, that they knocked, and then I just opened the door, and got it. But DoorDasher.
That's fucked up.
Drove me insane.
Marcel said, Roberto, you will be able to play hockey on the 21st. Gyms on Saturday and March 14th. All restrictions are off.
I'm playing hockey tomorrow, man.
Hey, you can play outdoor hockey. I seen some guys outside there playing outdoor hockey. I just don't know if you want to deal with that cold, but it hasn't been cold the past couple of days. But
really nice.
Yeah,
what's not cold to you? I'm curious. I know what's not cold to you.
0.
Yeah.
+2. That's when they come out in t-shirts and shit.
Well, when we get into -30 and -20, yeah, it's cool. Trust me.
That transition, you know what's so funny, Widow? Like in the winter, if it is normally, like he says, it's -18, -20. With the wind, it could be -40, 50 and shit like that. When it comes down to like 0 and 2, you'll see people driving with their windows open. They're taking their jackets off. But when it goes to transition from summer to fall and it goes down to 2, they're taking it. Don't make sense.
Like to me, like 22 degrees, I'm like, man, forget this. I can't do it.
Yeah,
and
22 degrees Fahrenheit is nothing.
We'll see
for us.
That's free. And then right now and today it was like 54.
G Major sent a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, G Major. You heard they canceled Moonfall release up there. What's Moonfall?
Oh, yeah, my theater hasn't gotten it.
Y'all don't want to see that movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
I mean, I watched a review. I've seen reviews of it and I believe it because it's like a disaster film, and I'm not big on those type of movies.
Yeah, just anything by Roland Emmerich is bad.
Yeah, that's the next
Moonfall is a disaster movie.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, it is. It's about the moon literally falling.
Oh shit. That sounds interesting. That's the type of movies I like.
But you might like it because it has Halle Berry in it, but
oh yeah, maybe. One thing I wanted to say to Bazel right now is that the restrictions are off, but we still have the passport mandate, and I think they need to get rid of that. I think they need to get rid of the passport mandate now, and we need to get back to normal life. So I think like Alberta's doing, getting rid of it. I hope every other province follows suit, man. I really
go to buy a bottle of wine. You gotta pull out your pass. You gotta pull out your ID. For a
what I mean?
For a 5-minute transaction, you spend 15 minutes at the fucking door.
Right.
I have a question. So with your passport mandate, right? Mm-hmm. Is it still what you explained to me the last time, where if it's not essential business, if you're not vaccinated, you can't go?
Oh, it's even worse now. It's now if there's a building that is over 1,500 square feet, we can't get into it. So we have huge Walmarts. We can't get into that. Costco, you can't get into that without being vaccinated.
Only grocery stores and pharmacies.
And pharmacies are the only ones you can get into right now.
So only grocery stores and pharmacies. And if you need anything from these big box stores, you have to have it shipped.
He's got to give me a 5, and I'll go inside and get what he needs.
Yeah.
I could see some guys making some money off of that. Yo, you vax? No, I could hook you up. What do you need inside? I charge $5. What do you need inside? The guy gives him his list. He goes inside, gets him his stuff. Costs him $5. Boom, he has his stuff.
Yeah.
It's basically, that's cheaper than probably a delivery service.
You get some fresh air too, you know?
Then I said one dude said his dick was 1.5 inches shorter after COVID. Huh? I guess that's an excuse you can use, you know, if you weren't laying the pipe good before COVID. Now you ain't laying the pipe good no more. You say, hey, man, COVID shrank my penis. It's not my fault. It was COVID.
I don't know which guy's bragging about that shit. That you take to your grave, yo.
So I got one more video to show, and this is the last one I want to show because this one I 100% agree with. And where did I put it?
Oh.
That's weird. Oh, okay, here it is. Yeah. So this was in the Senate.
Now, I am vaccinated and I encourage others to do so. But every person has their story. They have their reasons. They might be medical reasons, cultural reasons. They might even have learned, they might have had an unfortunate medical experience with prior medical prescriptions that have prevented them from making that decision. But that decision must be theirs. Their bodies belong to them. They are masters of their own decisions. And instead of listening to these people, the Prime Minister has insulted them and name-called them and left them with no choice but to engage in legitimate and peaceful protest. If he wants to put an end to those protests, if he wants to actually reunite the country, then he should do what others have begun doing, because freedom is on the march in this country. Saskatchewan, Alberta, Prince Edward Island, and Quebec are beginning to lift these restrictions. At midnight in Alberta, the vaccine passport came to an end, and people across the country are showing their support for starting freedom in this country, including two of the Prime Minister's own members of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, let's get these restrictions out of the way. Let's open up our economy. Let's bring back freedom. Let's make Canadians the authors of their own stories again.
Here, 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 here. I love that.
Facts. But I agree with what he's saying 100%, man. The end of the day, it's your choice. Right? If
those
you
guys always
get
talk the truth when they're on the sidelines. Once they're in that seat,
yeah,
you can't make them kind of fucking talk. You know that.
I mean, not wrong, Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Because look, Nzo, Alberta, when we're seeing the map of COVID across Canada, I don't know about you, but the two biggest numbers seem to be Ontario and Quebec, right?
Mm-hmm.
400 running strong. You look out in the Maritimes, 2, 1, 4, and they're shutting down.
Yeah.
So for them to lift it, you know, when they only got like 5 cases, I know their population ain't in the multi-millions, but 5 cases, they're not a hit town either. So for them to lift it, it makes sense. But I don't know about Ontario, but I know that shit spreads fast here for whatever reason. You don't notice that?
Mm-hmm.
It spreads really, really fast here. Like, I don't know the comparison we can make with our U.S. neighbors, but Quebec is not the same population as Ontario, but we always have more people sick than them.
Yeah, I know. And Bozo said, yeah, in Quebec, it's going to be in spring, Easter, that the passport will end. Yeah, they're not, because Quebec always does shit fucking slow, and after fucking, if they're not fucking giving us a curfew, and I think we were the only province to have a curfew, if I'm not mistaken, right, Roberto?
Sorry?
We were the only province to have a curfew, right?
In North America.
Right. So we had the curfew. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, we could have Alberta, Saskatchewan, all these provinces getting rid of the passport mandate, and fucking Quebec will be the last fucking one to do it. I can guarantee you that. Because that Legault guy is a fucking clown.
Yeah.
He is a damn clown.
His last guy who was in charge of
I mean,
health
yeah,
or whatever.
True. Some of them do.
He resigned, huh? He resigned. He took off.
Yeah, what were you saying, Sean?
No, I was just agreeing with Dandelion. Yeah, some of them are just like that. That's true.
They don't give a shit about freedom. They only care about business making money. Absolutely. 100%. But you see, this is the thing now.
Care about their freedom, though. That's
yes. And this is the bandwagon to jump on now, right? This is the bandwagon to oppose. This is the bandwagon to get your numbers up, to get popularity and stuff like that. So you go.
Who was that guy speaking?
This
Mike.
I'm sure we're gonna see a lot more of this guy.
His name is here.
I think this is the cat
trying to be... Mike. I thought his actual name was Mike.
He's trying to be head of the Conservative Party. I think this guy. He's like a stud right now.
Pierre Paul, whatever.
That's him.
Yeah.
He's going to be the next prime minister. Watch. And then when he gets in there, did I say all that? Well,
for real.
You know, I don't make the decisions here. We have to go in front of the council, and you know, that's when they start retreating on all of the promises they make to get there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mike said, agree with some of what that dude's saying. However, when your story can affect someone else's with possible infection, like Ashley's door dasher did to her, well, that's irresponsible. I agree.
Just takes one little shit, man.
Right.
One little incident.
100%, I agree.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are people like Nzo, I mean, who, you know, you're not vaccinated, but you're going to take the proper measures, right, to make sure that you are safe. And then if you feel that you have any symptoms, you're not going to be, you know, affecting.
Going
and you
around,
can be,
right.
you know, asymptomatic as well. But, you know, just if you're making the choice not to be vaccinated, then you have to put in the work to make sure that you're not putting other people at risk. And I think that sometimes that's where the problem lies. You know, instead of doing your part, if you're making the choice not to be vaccinated, then you need to work even harder to make sure that you're not putting other people at risk. You know, like my aunt who has an autoimmune disease, she tried to get vaccinated. She got the first shot, had a reaction, and she cannot be vaccinated. She is someone who, if she could possibly die. You know,
it could get worse. It could flare up beyond what she has now.
You know, she's, you know, an older woman, and she has an autoimmune disease, and I'm scared for her. And also if you think about your family members who are older, right? If you do your part just to protect them, I think that is, you know, important.
Absolutely. I said last week that if my parents were still alive, there's no doubt about it, I'd be vaccinated, right? And I'd be doing everything for them. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you need, call me, I'll be there. Whatever, you guys stay in the house or whatever. So, but because I don't have that, it's like not really like, oh my God, I gotta get vaccinated because I gotta protect, you know, my parents or stuff like that. So
I swear, here comes B-Dot. Like, I can't even.
He said, why is that quotation here? The O.O.C. black only this month, but what's good, everyone? What's good?
No, his other comment. Tom Holland is against the vaccine too. He told me
he's gonna make a TikTok of it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Or K-Dots have like a Central American passport. Is that good enough?
So anybody have any last thoughts on the topic? What do you think, man?
I think that you three should speak the loudest here, really.
Roberto, go ahead.
Again, I don't know. Like, you know, basically, there's just so much wrong that ain't being corrected. It's just a matter of time before the cops come and clean all that up, and it's an event in history. I don't think anything's going to change. I think Trudeau invested too much money in this fucking mandate thing for it to disappear quick. And I said that a long time ago. If this passport was here as a Band-Aid, why did they spend so much money on it? There's an agenda there. And the people are standing up against that agenda because they see it. And it's going to be a battle, yo.
And it's to your point, right? If you got vaccinated, why do they have to close the gyms down? You know what I mean? If you can only get into the gym when you're vaccinated, right? Why did they need to close them down? Why did they need to close theaters down?
Also, you know, I ask those questions all the time. Who's going to answer them?
Yeah, that's true there. I mean, in here in BC, though, they're all open, so but I can't speak for other provinces. I mean, yeah, everything has been open here. I mean, people are saying, like, they said stuff would return to normal, and it hasn't. I mean, again, from my experience, so, I mean, yeah, you need to take precautions still, and there's not large gatherings, but outside of that, I mean, it has for the most part with me, just with my experience, so.
But just imagine, you're not vaccinated. You're walking downtown. You see people in the store walking around with no mask, smiling, having a good time. You can't get in. Restaurant, people sitting down eating, no mask on. You can't get in. They're in the theater. They're living life normal because they're vaccinated. You know, they shouldn't get sick because they're all vaccinated. And if they are, they're not going to die, or not as many are going to die because they're vaccinated. This is what we all know now, right?
But everybody has a choice, though. At the
but if
same time,
they did
Roberto,
that, I'm just saying, if they did that, then maybe more people would get vaccinated, thinking, "Hey, if I do get vaccinated,
I can go back to living normal life."
There is some kind of normality to this.
Right.
Oh, they
but
also
there's
handed out
absolutely
free beer
none
here for vaccinated.
There's absolutely none. So the
Like
people
they're
that
saying-
are vaccinated are saying, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
I know I'm healthier. I know I'm safer. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to end up in the hospital. I don't want to take up a bed for somebody who deserves it, like someone who needs an operation on their heart, per se. But at the same time, why am I treated like the people who are not vaccinated? Shouldn't there be some kind of perk to this?
I feel you, because that's what they said. There would be the perks when you guys got vaccinated, right? Don't worry,
That's
guys,
not
you
why
get
I did
vaccinated. No, I know, but I'm saying there is the perks when you guys get vaccinated. You know, you'll be able to live life. You'll be able to go here, you go there, and they still close shit down. And then they blamed the non-vaccinated for that. And I'm just like, how can you do that? Because if you keep places open and only let vaccinated people in, then there's no reason to shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, again, other provinces I can't speak. I have heard that stuff. Just here in BC, though, has been like that for me personally. And I guess Dandelion here.
So BC never had a lockdown?
No. There's been like one time last year after they opened up the theaters.
Don't talk shit about that, because you know some people
it was
running over
in November,
there
I believe, last year. They had the lockdown once, but that's about it, though.
Wow.
So your theaters are open.
Dandelion ain't lying.
Yeah, there have been a couple times where they removed the show times and just do it by day in case any updates from like the prime minister or whatever, but nothing closing.
Wow. Yeah. You need passports to get into your movie theater.
I need a mandate card.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody in the panel and comments, we'll make good points with both sides. Yeah. Also, Roberto, I had a question. What's more annoying, the people who stand in the middle of the road, those protesters, are the ones honking their horns in this protest?
I think the horns for the people that live there, but the horns serve purpose to annoy those people in those offices that they're trying to get to. Because if they just stood there with a bunch of signs,
right,
eventually they just disappear, right? Because it's fucking cold. You know? But those horns, those horns are annoying because that's all they make reference to. Those horns, those horns, those horns. The people that live there, I really feel for them. But, you have to consider when you lived in the capital, shit like that might happen.
For real. 100%. And, I mean, it's probably a small price to pay. You know what I mean? For freedoms. Now, I know if you're one of the 2/3 that are against it, then you're fucking hating it right now. You know what I mean? But if you're one of them that are all for it, you know what I mean? Freedom and everything.
Though?
I don't know, because I was watching a video with Abram Preach, and they brought it up too as well, right? Where they said, they were reading a lot of articles where the statistics says that is the case. So I'm inclined to believe it. I don't agree with it.
I'm inclined because you're y'all's Canadian nature,
Yes, no, it is like our nature.
Okay,
right?
K-Dots, okay.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think most Canadians I've ever come across are very pleasant people. That's a compliment.
Right. And also,
yes, but once you meet a nasty one,
oh, I do know a nasty one.
Worse
One
than
of the
Americans.
nastiest ones.
Worse than Americans outside of certain parts in America.
No, I agree. Some of us can be fucked up. You know what
There
I mean?
is always one outlier in the group.
Yeah, it's rarer, but once you meet them, they're like worse than most people.
Oh,
like, assholes in most states.
He is the one I'm thinking of. Ooh, another
So
level. It's like,
people are working remotely from home, so they can't hear the horns.
If you live down in the core, you're hearing those horns.
Right.
Because you got to remember, how many trucks are there?
Ooh.
30, 40, 50, 100?
Probably like hundreds, because when it first started, I think they had like maybe, what was it, like 100,000 people that were down there. I don't know how many trucks were involved in that. You know, some of them have left and some of them have stayed. So like there's hundreds of trucks there. There's hundreds.
You know that convoy went down to 40 through Montreal, huh?
Yeah.
And because of that happening, people got let home to go early from work to avoid gridlock.
Yeah.
Just them passing through. So you can imagine, because Ottawa's small, right? You can imagine what Ottawa's like.
Okay,
laughing at us, eh?
Canadians be snitching.
I'm laughing at B-Dot because he's out here he said that Ned gave him COVID and all kinds of
and he said Canadians be snitching. We don't snitch, bro. Not at all. You know what I mean? And most of the Canadians,
maybe dry snitching, don't they?
Most of the Canadians are for it, but Matt said she don't believe that 2/3 of Canadians are against it. We are the most apathetic country around the world.
Against what? The mandates or the protests?
The protests.
Okay.
Right. I think we're against
that's
the
definitely
mandate.
the case in Vancouver, though. It's mostly the case in Vancouver here. Like, there's tons of counter protests and stuff. Most people are against it here. Other provinces, probably not.
Because why would BC, unless it's just a humanity thing that BC would get involved, but unless you're experiencing it and you're to the point where you're fed up, like where we are in Quebec, I would like to think that 2/3, if not more, are for the protest because we're experiencing the harshest reality of it, Like, I don't think anybody could go through what we're going through and not feel how we're feeling. If that's the case, you're numb.
Right.
I feel it's horrible.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up. It's communist. It's like pure, plain, simple communism.
It's excessive. You can have specific things in place, and then try and see how that goes, and then little by little you back off. It's excessive.
Like I didn't realize
that it was that things had gone the opposite way from the last time that we kind of talked about all this.
Right.
Yes, it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse.
And Dandelion said a lot of people I know think the protesters are whiny snowflakes. We all got back, even if we had doubts. What makes them special?
What I don't understand about this, like I said last time, the only thing that is conflicting for me is that even if he does lift that thing to cross the border, unless the Americans do, nothing's going to change. So just stick to the mandates that, they implemented here and get off of that thing with the border because you don't make any sense there. If it was just a border, I'm sorry, you guys are fucked up because unless you're affecting the U.S. at the same time, you're fighting a useless battle.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They're not changing it in the U.S.
Right. The U.S. actually followed suit with that, so they would have to change that. But hey, we change our borders, then all the trucks can drive down to Washington, D.C. and take care of it there. If they reopen the weed stores, Roberto Nzo will be cool with that. That is right, Danny. Nice try. They never close.
As long as they could go, they're never closed?
No, they're never closed.
They're the only one that open during all of this.
So, Anzo, are you allowed to go to those establishments?
No, because I'm not vaccinated.
He's going to give me $5 and I hook him up.
Oh, that $5.
But I wouldn't charge him. Even if I wouldn't charge him, but we don't support that cause.
Listen, yeah, right. Hey, man, black market has always been for me. Black market will always be for me. And if worse comes to worse, I got this motherfucking tent over here, and I'll put this motherfucker to work before I do that. So I ain't worried.
And I'll
I ain't
send my
worried.
respects to my BC
Black
friends because
market's
you
the
guys got
only option
serious
I
butt
got.
over there.
Facts. And BC has the best
Serious
stuff.
butt in BC.
Yeah,
That's all I could say.
100%. That was great, man.
So I have
So
to go there.
yeah, you definitely
Got
need to.
it.
Well, no, you can go anywhere because we get BC weed up here. You know what I mean? Like my guy, he always has BC weed, like BC this, BC that, and it's like, yeah, boom, fire
High
shit.
demand for that.
Yeah, I do
Roberto
sell
should
some.
charge Anzo to get his fix. He doesn't need to charge me, Danny. He doesn't need to charge me, Danny.
We don't make money off each other. If anything, we hook each other up, yo.
Facts. And not only that, like I said, I don't worry about the government weed. I went there the first day it opened. I got weed from there, hated it. Went there a couple months later, got weed from there, hated it. So I don't need to go there. I'm good. My guy handles shit for me just fine. So we'll move on to the next topic, and the next topic was brought to me by Ashley, which was very interesting. So I'm going to bring up the article here. And the article says Black Lives Matter activist jailed for 6 years for trying to register to vote after authorities told her she could. So this case is one about the disparity in sentence and punishment, and one that shouldn't have happened, lawyers say. So a Black Lives Matter activist has been jailed for 6 years for trying to register to vote even after authorities told her she could. Pamela Moss, a BLM community activist and former Democratic candidate for the mayor in Memphis, has said that she had done everything she needed to do to regain her rights to vote in Tennessee. She had a long list of felony convictions, including tampering with evidence, leading her right to vote being revoked. She has said that she didn't know she lost the right to vote when she pleaded guilty. In 2019, both the Corrections Department and the County Elections Commission confirmed on her voter registration application that Moss' probation was over and that she was eligible to vote once more. But the officials who signed off on her voter registration application have said they made a mistake, meaning that Moss' right to vote remained revoked. Moss was charged with illegally trying to register to vote when she submitted the application along with the certificate signed by the officials. So far, thoughts on that? Ashley, start it out. What do you think?
I want to say, Andre, it's not misleading. The misleading headline was BLM chapter organizer illegally voted when she did not illegally vote. She registered to vote. That's what she did. And then for registering to vote, because she's a felon, she was then sentenced to 6 years in prison. Okay. That is the misleading aspect of it. That's the misleading headline that people like to portray, is that BLM, like they got to make sure that that's involved in that. Organizer illegally voted when that's not what happened.
Sorry for laughing because
this
makes absolutely no sense. This makes
woman
absolutely no sense.
Is a felon in specific states in this country. If you are a felon, you do not have the right to vote. All right.
Okay, but can't they just say no?
Then you lie on your application, which is fraud, which is what I believe is actually what happened in her case. She registered to vote knowing that she could not.
You sure she knew?
She's a felon in the state of Texas. It's not, in Tennessee, excuse me. And I know in Tennessee, and I don't live in Tennessee, that if you're a felon, you don't have the right to vote.
That's some fucked up shit, yo. I know it's hard to get a job, but you can't vote either? Like, why you... Oh, man. Like, honestly, why would you do a crime in the U.S., man?
For real though, right?
Like, man, your penalties are so fucking harsh. Harsh.
In
6
2015, she was
years?
sentenced in 2015. I believe it was in 2015.
Is this the Soviet Union?
And she
6 years.
You know.
So
Okay, sorry, this is Ashley's turn to talk. I'll just sit back and wait.
So it's turn. Like, in my mind, it was. Oh well, thank you, Jim Longer. It's ridiculous because this woman, yes, she's a felon. Yes, she tried to register to vote, but does she deserve to be in prison for 6 years for trying to vote? When, in my opinion, people serve their time for their crimes. And I don't understand why, especially if it's a non-violent crime, why you then lose the right to vote. In this country, once that felon label is then put upon you, you're considered less of a citizen. So you don't have the same rights as opposed to me, right? I'm a registered voter. I can vote. But say if I went out here and committed a felony, then that right is taken from me. Why? You know, it's what I'm saying. The criminal justice system in this country is not about rehabilitation. It's not about you becoming a better person or learning from your mistakes.
Yeah,
it's
same with the UK to an extent. Yeah.
In this position, right, where you can never escape it. And then taking away one's civil liberties, right, to go check a box and cast their vote based off prior situations that they made mistakes in is ridiculous to me. And then when you look at, I can't remember the exact case, this young man who murdered people, right? Killed people,
that makes sense.
2 years out of prison. And this woman is now getting 6 years, 6 years for trying to register to vote so she could vote. Because
I think it's because of those initials, like Danny's saying, it's because of those initials.
Yeah,
and they want to make an example of her, like they do of every black movement that has taken place forever.
Yep, let me read the comment. Danny said, "This is an attempt to galvanize the haters against BLM. She won't serve that, Roberto. Prisons are too full with real criminals. This is just a bad publicity. BLM. Absolutely, 100%.
She won't serve the full 6 years, but she's going to do time for this. The fact that it's a crime,
and it's another scar on her credibility.
The 6 years, even though she's not going to serve a full 6 years, the fact that she's going to serve, like at most, you know, for lying on your application,
2/3, right? She'll serve.
That should be time served.
It should be
a fine and move on. Why are we?
It should just be a fine.
You know, I'm just saying at minimum, like 3 days, right? And you know, while you're waiting to be arraigned, you go in front of the judge, right? And they say, time served, here's your fine. She should not be locked up outside of a county jail. You know,
I think they just love to create rap sheets on people.
Yeah, and it's all about and they love it because now, she's associated with Black Lives Matter. So then that really ramps it up even more. You know, it's like, look at this woman who's involved with Black Lives Matter, the organization. She did this, and so we're going to put this stamp on her to make her more of a villain in their eyes.
And at the same time, aren't they discrediting Black Lives Matters? Like, why would you have such a criminal the head of your organization or your cause? Couldn't you find someone better suited to do this? Like, discrimination all the way through. All the way through.
Dandelion said, "This is what I was saying earlier. Many of the people supporting the truckers' occupations were against the Black Lives Matter occupation in Portland and against the BLM protests in general." Yeah. I hope their eyes are dotted and T's are crossed. They'll probably made this woman rich if they aren't on point. Hey man, hey, if that's the case, then good. But I just like 6 years. That's unbelievable. Like, even if she doesn't serve that, you still gave her 6 years. Time served, whatever, probation, whatever, 6 years. Not only for registering to vote, not for voting, but for trying to register to vote, and for doing it when they told her she could.
I'm just curious, when you move from state to state, do they give you like some kind of booklet on the laws of that state? So you know, not because I know in the States it's different everywhere. You know what's going on in Tennessee, but you don't live in Tennessee. So, like,
no, they don't give you a booklet. Like, you know, if I go to Florida and they're not going to be like, "Hey, welcome to Florida. Here's a book." If you
I'm just being a smart ass.
You know, I know you are. I know. I am too.
Because it's like it's crazy. Me as a tourist, like I remember one time I went to Florida and I was looking for weed. Now that I look back on that, what kind of a fucking idiot was I?
Hey, where were you
been
in
the
Florida?
end of my life.
Like, if you're near tourist areas, you're good in Florida. Like,
yeah,
honestly,
I was on what's the name, Dade County, some beach.
Oh, you were straight. Like, because I used to live in Florida. I used to live in Naples, and I was just like, I was in Florida for 3 months. The weed man delivered it to me at the vape shop. You went in there and said one word. They pulled the weed out, and everybody at the resort, people down on International Drive, was hitting blunts, and cops was right close by. So it's like, if you're in tourist areas,
you're good.
You're straight in certain parts of Florida. Yeah.
After they pretzel that guy with a bottle in his hand, I was a little paro. I told you that story.
You remember in Orlando, I got the hookup. I got the delivery man. I know the store. I know.
Well, how long ago was this, Ashley? Because I'm talking like this was maybe 10 years ago.
Oh no! Like right now, and I got right now. Like I follow the dude on Twitter.
Now you can just call up a guy and they deliver.
Yeah, he will deliver here. He takes Cash App and all.
Nice.
Dandelion.
Keep that in mind.
Dandelion said BLMs were mostly peaceful, but some media showed the same footage of one burning building every day. Yeah, they did do that. And they tried to pin it off like it was happening everywhere. Tim said, "I'm not against BLM. They should continue, but Widow, you're not seeing the higher ups that are actually in charge."
Full disclosure, and I don't care what anybody in the chat's going to say to me.
Yeah,
I am an active member in BLM in my town. Okay, I paid my dues. I'm an active member in everything. If you are not in the organization, you don't also see the food drives, the backpack donations, and all the things that we do. So let's be real about that, okay? All right? There's a lot of things that go on in this organization that people don't realize, and then you want to focus on specific things. The people who are in charge of BLM right now, all three women left because one, people made an issue about a property that she bought before the existence of BLM. And then try to use that as that she was using these funds to buy property. But she bought the property before the organization was even created.
Because of social media, you gotta give in and let go and disappear.
Send me that video, Tim. We'll break it down. I'll look at it.
But anybody that can say what they want, about how they feel, but it's also about the statement, what the statement means. Okay, maybe you don't like the organization, but I have a problem with anybody that has an issue with the statement Black Lives Matter. If maybe you don't like the organization and specific people that are involved, I will respect that. But for what it stands for, in that term, I think that should not get lost in it either. Okay,
like Black anything. Matter. You remember before I was saying, Ashley, how anything black that gets momentum, they tear it apart. It's so easy because black people know that the cause is that we do matter. It doesn't matter if money's being sent or gathered or gained. We know that Black Lives Matters and we want to change. We just want to be treated equal. Now, they come in now and want to discredit Black Lives Matters by causing controversy and doubt and conspiracies. Who's this? What are they doing? Are they legit? Do they have any bad history, background? Anything to disrupt momentum of something gaining for our people. I'm sorry. This is my view, third person perspective of how I see. It's going to take maybe 2 more generations before anything happens with this against us.
Yeah.
I'm
At
sorry.
least. And Daniel said, I don't think BLM is an organization as all that, more of a concept than an organization. Danny said, I'm sure 6 years is the max for this crime. I'm sure they put her on probation. If she violates any conditions of the sentence, then they'll let her serve the 6 years. They hold it over her head.
They probably will do it because she's the head of Black Lives Matters. Take her down.
But I think that, I know the things that I've been involved in, and the drives that I've been a part of that have helped people in specific communities. To me, it is all that, right? Because I've seen it and I've been there, and luckily, even though I lived in a very conservative state, our governor, has been there and met with us and helped try to make sure that these specific organizations are being pushed to the forefront, because it's not just about, the overarching thing, the head of the national organizations. A lot of the work that's being done are locally in these communities. And I've seen it and I've been there, right? And I know how it's helped people, right?
Absolutely. But that's the things. That's the things they don't really show us, right?
Yeah, because not enough information.
Right. Caleb said BLM overall is a great organization. I think the media just tries to vilify the whole movement. Daniel said full support BLM. It's the corporations trying to divide us and keep us down are the true enemy. That is 100% a fact. Andre said, I agree, Danny, and that's what I think will happen to her. Probation, if anything, on her. If the evidence doesn't get cut, they made her look better.
But the whole point of her getting anything, it's just mind-blowing.
For real.
And I think it also goes to a bigger issue in this country that, like, how felons are treated. Like, like
you're supposed to rehabilitate yourself.
Exactly. There are people who completely could have made a mistake, right? And they are no longer involved in criminal activity, right? They have changed their lifestyles completely. And because of this one thing that hangs over their head, they can't feel like a complete full citizen.
It's crazy.
And the BLM thing is part of it because they want to make sure, that we push that to the forefront. But for me, the bigger issue is just because you commit a crime, doesn't mean that these rights should be taken from you forever. That you shouldn't be able to go and cast a vote for your local Senate seats, for the president, for your, for the people that are going to represent you in Congress,
you haven't really
for your mayor, for any of these small things. Like that to me is like the bigger issue, really. Yeah, the headline is grabbing, but the fact that this woman, is a felon and she can't register to vote, for me is the bigger issue too. Right?
I feel you. Solo said all the money BLM made, they could have built their own neighborhood again.
And they are building
a question on that with that money. What is the money?
They are building the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
What is it? Okay. Is that the main cause of the donations? Like, is there somewhere where you can see what donations serve?
Education. That money does go back into those communities. and school upgrades, books, materials, all these things.
Should feed the kids in the schools. That
Yeah.
should be the number one.
I know.
thing.
I've been.
Have a food program.
I was at a drive in August for those kids.
Because
you know,
they have an alarming commercial up here that I heard on the radio that this woman who works for the school observed this one kid take a bite of a sandwich and wrap it up, and then took it out on Tuesday, took another bite and wrapped it up, and basically that sandwich was to last a whole week. And to think about that, it's, I don't know if you call me a wuss, but like it brings tears to my eyes. I don't know if it's since I have kids, but I think how fucking cruel is this world that a kid could go to school and people notice that and don't do anything about it.
Yeah, for real. For real.
This world, I'm telling you, is so ugly. It's so fucking ugly. I don't know what could turn us around, man.
Everybody looks out for themselves, man. That's the way it is, right? And Chillmonger said if the organization was called anything but Black Lives Matter, Dandelion said, the more the lower down and poor people get power and claim their rights, the better for all of us. A rising tide lifts all boats. Absolutely. Chillmonger said, the easy way for people who believe Black lives don't matter is to discredit the organization called Black Lives Matter. That is a fact, 100%.
Chillmonger's on a roll tonight, yo.
It's on point. Ashley, I believe you are in for the right reasons. Unfortunately, when a lot of money starts flowing, people tend to get sticky fingers. BLM had to be perfect, if not any mistakes honest or... Continue. Hold on.
Yeah.
On purpose will be magnified 1,000 times more than any other organization that has been identified and not using funds for the correct things they were meant for.
I agree, and I'm not saying that right now. The fact that nobody's really heading up the organization, the national organization, is a big problem, and it looks weird and suspect. I'm not saying that, but because no one has stepped up into that leadership role, and a lot of things, don't look right, because if things aren't done a specific way, by a specific, then the criticism comes, but meanwhile, we can have other organizations that we know that are completely fraudulent. And I'm not going to get into it because it's a political thing. And I know people will be offended, by someone who sat in the White House and pretend like that they had an organization that was about helping communities, and it was all about funding his businesses at the end of the day. Right. And that's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree about that, young boy, but.
Yeah, we'll get into that, and I'll let you speak it, Sean, because you've been a little bit quiet soon.
Sorry,
no,
Sean.
I don't have much to say. I don't have much to say other than I agree.
Got you. The active suppression of minority is a blight on all society. Diversity is strength. We grow when we leave fear behind and open ourselves to new ideas. 100%. It means you have empathy, Roberto, and you care. I understand that as well. Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, when my family, we weren't rich, right? But my dad was good with money. So we used to, parties, like everything. Friends would come over, eat my dad's chicken and everything. My dad fed the block, bro. Like, he fed the block. Anybody that lived on my block knew about my dad's chicken, because he would invite everybody over. Hey, come for some fried chicken and some Lucky Ones. Remember Lucky Ones, Roberto?
I never got none of that chicken, yo.
Yeah, I know you didn't.
I didn't want to say it, but you called me out.
No, I meant
I'm sure
Lucky
Jose
Ones.
got some.
Yeah, Jose got some. You remember the Lucky Ones, though, right?
No.
You don't remember Lucky Ones? The little fucking, they used to deliver it to your house. You get the soda.
Oh, them drinks. Yes.
Yeah.
In the 48 pack there, in the plastic container. Yeah.
So Solo said, these kids need. Yeah, sure. Just let me read it first. These kids need real after school activities. They need to learn how to create opportunity. 9 to 5 is not the way. Go ahead.
And I was going to say, I don't know where, how your state is, but I know that the kids around me, they have after school programs. They're learning these tools. So I don't know what happens in your state or specific states, but that happens. There's after school programs, and those kids their parents don't pay for them to go to those after school programs.
And here's one you may want to respond to. BLM was a scam. Never built no homes or helped us. Marxism and communism are sick ideas, Tim Talk.
And
Go
I
ahead.
Agree. I mean, I agree that Marxism and communism are horrible ideas. I mean, they're.
I mean, I don't agree with never helped us. I don't agree with that part.
Right.
But I don't think that it's a scam, and I don't think that they've not done anything to help the Black community.
I mean, sure, they haven't built really. I don't know if they built any homes or how many, but I mean that there's a lot that goes into that other than money. It's a lot more difficult.
It's education, it's materials, it's a lot of things that organizations that are doing.
And you know what? Yeah, granted, building homes and stuff, but I think giving the kids proper books, enough books in their class, and a proper education so that they can use those tools in the future is more important than building a home for somebody, because you have to give kids the opportunity to be able to live in this world, right? And survive. And a lot of the things in America, especially in the Black communities, is when you hear about some of these schools, you have 30 kids and 15 books. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things that need to be fixed.
Or now really it's technology. Even you need the technology, to
exactly
to advance.
Yeah, computers and all kinds of shit. 100%.
You need the kids. Like my kids have iPads and they bring them home. From their school, but they also go to a different school. They have the technology that they need, because the school is funded to make sure that they have that.
100%. Danny said spear chucker parties, Nzo. Wow. Did I say something about spear chucker parties? I don't know. I don't remember saying anything like that.
I remember hearing spear chucker.
Neither do I.
I don't know what that means. Sorry.
Neither do I.
Oh, you guys don't know what a spear chucker is?
No.
Think of an African with a spear.
Okay.
That's what someone called me, a spear chucker.
I'm still like, okay.
Wow.
What do you mean?
What did you say?
What does that mean?
Did you laugh?
I laughed my ass off, right? Actually, Roberto was a spot we were working at together, right? So I got the call and I was called, hey, how you doing? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. And the guy knew I was Black right away. So he called me Jigaboo, he called me the N-word, he called me all these other names. And then the last one was spear chucker. And I said, I never heard it before. I was like, spear chucker?
I've not heard of that one.
I was dying. He hung up on me because I wasn't offended. It was.
I would have if someone said you're a spear chucker, I'd been like, okay, what? And then I would have laughed too. Like,
am I supposed to be offended?
You know what I mean? Like, I'm a spear chucker. I'm like, okay, that was funny as hell.
Sounds like Prince Charles.
For real.
You spear chucker?
Yeah, didn't he say in the interview one time, do you still throw spears there?
Solo said it would be dope if they created their own school. Well, for one, and I'm being facetious when I say this, but you got Dr. Umar, he's putting his school together. It's been like 10 years since he started it, but hey, his school's supposed to be coming. But no, on a serious note though, yeah, go ahead.
Or funding, traditionally Black colleges. I mean, we have those in this country already that were established because they could not go to,
HBCs, right?
So yes, so if you're, if anything, allocating that money towards, those schools, not, the smaller schools.
But with all that being said, let's give LeBron James's props for actually opening up a fucking school.
Yeah.
Right. And giving scholarships to kids that deserve it. You know what I mean? I know people are always complaining about LeBron James, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, he did something that no fucking athlete has done. And he
there's a WWE guy, because I didn't know about him, and I don't know his name. Because I was watching the horrible. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. But I watched the Oscar nominations, like the production.
Kobe Bryant when he won a short.
Yeah. I think he had a school, but there's a WWE guy who has a magnet school. He opened up a school. Yeah, I don't know where it is. I think it might be in Memphis, actually. I feel like it's Memphis now that I think about it. He opened up a school. So, I mean, that's, he has a middle school that he opened up.
Oh, I think it was Ken Anderson.
I wouldn't know.
Either or, you know what I mean? When you do something like that and you're opening up a school like that, you got to give respect to the people that are doing that, right? Because first off, it's not easy to open up a school, right? No. Second off, LeBron James is giving out scholarships and helping out people. I don't know what Anderson guy is doing, but from what I know LeBron is doing, he's really helping out a lot of people get to college and go places where they probably would never get to go to. And Danny said I was referring to the block parties with the chicken. I got you, Danny. Yeah. yeah. We had fried chicken and watermelon, bro. It gets no better than that.
I'll take the watermelon. I don't eat meat, so
I hate fucking watermelon. It's disgusting.
Poultry. I love it.
What?
Yes, that is correct. I hate watermelon. But
yeah, I don't eat chicken either, so
what's wrong with you guys?
I'm a vegetarian.
I eat both.
No, I eat seafood.
I used to eat both.
So whatever
I eat fish every once
I
in a
will
while,
take. I'll take your melon. Actually, I'll take your chicken.
Yeah, I mean, chicken's fire. Chicken's fire. I just cut it out because I didn't need it. I mean, pork and beef, on the other hand, I think is gross.
Pork is disgusting.
Like chicken was, I like chicken, but I just don't eat it anymore, But just because I just felt like it's like poisoning my body, but I'm crazy. So y'all don't want to hear my crazy thoughts on that.
No, I won't lie. I won't lie. If I could be a vegetarian, I would.
What do you mean if you could?
Because I love meat too fucking much. I
can never.
Don't tell me if you could, because you could. You just don't want to. If I could.
I do occasionally
you fucking crack me up, man.
I do occasionally eat fish from time to time, but
I can't eat rabbit food every fucking day.
I'm a carnivore, man.
Hey, you just need to find some alternatives, like with tofu and stuff.
No, fuck tofu. Tofu's nasty.
No, it's not. I'm telling you something that's amazing. You need a buffalo tofu salad. That thing is a bomb. I'm telling you.
Hey, they have like vegan field roasts and beef patties, which taste just the same.
Really?
The field, now the fillers.
Andrea,
did y'all have the grape Kool-Aid too, though?
Oh, absolutely, 100%, 100%.
Y'all had the sugar
Facts.
water.
I can't believe I forgot about the grape Kool-Aid. And
I don't do good.
Yo, as God is my witness, Ash, grape Kool-Aid was my fucking favorite. That's all I had. It was either the grape or the cherry. Those are only two kinds of Kool-Aid I had, and it was more grape than anything. So yes, I did have the grape Kool-Aid. Andrea
I don't like sugary drinks.
Really? No, I used to love it because you could put as much sugar as you wanted into it to make it, sometimes you don't want to make it too sweet, but yeah, I loved Kool-Aid. Andrea said I was going to mention LeBron's opening up a school on, so I may not be a fan of LeBron, but I give respect to his accomplishments, especially for opening up a school that goes for anyone that does that. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Not only was it school, right? He was at the forefront of all the problems that we were having and stuff like that. I really think LeBron James, people, whatever you want to say about him, whatever your opinions, whether you like him or not, you got to give him respect for the accomplishments that he did, man.
And just thinking about what he did for the city of, what he continues to do for the city of Cleveland as a
Facts.
whole.
Facts, 100%.
The jobs he's created, the school, it's like bigger than that. Like, maybe you don't like some of the things. He's done a lot for that for that city and that community. You know.
Absolutely, 100%. Danny sent a $2. First off, Danny said, "Ha ha ha, chicken and watermelon and grape juice." I forgot the grape juice, but yeah, 100%. Then he sent a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, Danny. He said, "Ashley, Nzo is crazy. He don't like the Boondocks."
You don't like Boondocks?
No.
Oh my.
No.
What?
No. It's a stereotypical fucking cartoon that makes black people look bad.
That's the whole.
No.
Oh my gosh. I love
You see, when Family Guy does it, I love it because it's white people doing that shit. But when I see it on black people, I don't like it at all.
What?
No.
How does that make sense?
I know. I feel like it would be
makes a lot of sense.
crazy.
Danny said, "What?" Danny said, "What the fuck? No meat? What the hell is Ashley and Sean smoking? I don't want none of that tofu crap."
Hey, there's Beyond Meats then.
Oh, absolutely not.
My thing is, like, I started this journey. First I cut out like red meat, and then it was the pork, and then it was the chicken, you know, and then it was the fish. But then occasionally, you know, I like sushi and I like salmon. So every once in a while I eat it, you know, I eat fish, but I try to stay away from it. And if I can get away from occasionally eating cheese, because I don't drink like milk, because milk is horrible for you, I could, you know, almost pretty much be a vegan, you know, because my goal still is to be a raw vegan. That's the goal. Maybe one day I'll get there.
I'll never be able to quit sushi.
I love it. It's like, and then like I get like the veggie kind, you know, but I love sushi.
Oh yeah, Melonz. Yeah, those were terrible. The A&W nuggets ones were good, but no, not the KFC ones.
So the next topic we have, and the final topic for tonight, is the Joe Rogan stuff. Now I'm gonna play this video. It's from the Daily Show.
Did you get the one I sent you? Okay.
Yeah, I got the one you sent me too, which I'll play that too. But I think this has most of the ones you got. But I also want you to hear what this Noah guy has to say too.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you say, whether you like him or not, you know what I mean. He makes up some good points. So let's check it out and see what's going on. Now you gotta remember too, like Joe Rogan said these words like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and stuff like that, and he has come out and apologized for it. And I personally don't think he's a racist, but I don't also know him, right? So no telling what he's doing behind closed doors. But let's check out the video and see what they have to say.
Scariest thing to come out of the show, Fear Factor. After a week of scandal surrounding his anti-vaccine podcast, Joe Rogan is still in the news, which is rare in America. I mean, in this country, news cycles are here today, gone tomorrow. Breaking news, dinosaurs have come back from the dead and are destroying cities around the globe. All right, moving on. Kim and Kanye are fighting again.
He tries to be funny.
If you remember, the whole reason
I like him though.
I do too.
Was because Rock
he used to be funny.
Neil Young.
He used to be really funny. Yeah.
Before COVID.
Rogan.
Yeah.
Yep. Spreading lies about vaccines.
Yeah.
So then, because of the backlash, Joe Rogan apologized. And a lot of people were like, okay, we're moving in the right direction. Even The Rock was like, great job, Joe Rogan. Let's grab a drink. But just before Joe Rogan could get that drink, another musician, India Ari, I am not my hair. Well, she put out her own video online saying that there's a different reason that she doesn't want to be on the same platform as Joe Rogan. And this was it.
I want to leave a short message here about why I decided to ask my music be pulled off of Spotify. Spotify is built on the back of the music streaming. So they take this money that's built from streaming and they pay this guy $100 million, but they pay us 0.003% of a penny. Just take me off. I don't want to generate money that pays this. This is why. Watch this.
You know,
the nigger thing.
Yes. Saying the word nigger. You've already said nigger. D is just like nigger. Saying nigger. She's calling you a nigger. It's like this boy that he's a nigger and starts calling them niggers. Word nigger. There should be a word like nigger, especially like word nigger. That's our nigger. About niggers. He says nigger. Guy, a nigger. And then our niggers start saying nigger. Allowed to use the word nigger. Out the word nigger. See nigger. Word nigger. Say nigger and he couldn't say nigger. And most nigger.
Woo!
So let me pause it there real quick.
That's a lot of takes.
Yeah,
what a lot of takes, man.
What do you think, Roberto? What do you
And
guys
it's
think
missing.
so far?
It's also missing the take where he says, "I bet you won't say it" to his co-host, and he goes, and his co-host goes, "Nigger."
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
you have that one there. We'll say that one. I want to get you guys' opinions real quick. So go ahead.
I'm reacting just like how his face looks right now.
Yeah, me too.
Damn, it makes me look like a rookie. Shit.
Like what? You know what? I followed Joe when I was working. I was working down in the old port a couple of years back. Every day I was taking the metro. I was listening to Joe Rogan, and I really fell in love with a couple of his guests, like Joe Coco Diaz and a couple of them. And I felt, he seemed like a nice, righteous guy, just speaking his piece. I didn't know any of this. I had no recollection that he said that word once. So for me, it's shocking. It's shocking. I'm sorry. I don't know why he's using it. I don't know why he would want to use it so many times. I mean, that video's made to make him look bad, but I mean, it is him in all those shots, right?
Yeah. And I think when we get farther in this video, like Trevor Noah makes a great point. When he's like, well, it's out of context. Well, we get later down the road, like, you honestly don't need to say the word. I agree with you, Roberto. I like, even though I'm like, you should be vaccinated. Like, I thought, like, everybody was like tripping, like, why are you tripping on him? And everybody wanting their stuff pulled because he's having controversial guests on his show and getting a different point of view about vaccinations. Like, to me, I felt like, there's different points of view, and I don't feel like anything that with the unvaccinated stuff or anything that he's done before really that I've seen bothered me, because I was always like, I like Joe Rogan, he's a little edgy. Like, if I didn't have the time I didn't have COVID, but when we had this COVID scare, I was actually gonna go see Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle together. Like, that was my intent.
Yeah.
So, but when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh. But for me, this part, it's shocking. But when you get later into the video, what he says later, when he tells his story about how he goes to a movie theater, for me is even like, just kind of like made me scratch my head a bit.
Yes. And if you're talking about his apology, Paul, yes, it's there too. Don't worry, we'll get to that too. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, the monkey stuff, the ape. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to the video.
Yeah, the Planet of the Apes comment was like something MSK would say.
Right.
And then,
you know what I mean?
But then like I said, Trevor makes a good point that he could have not said the word and said something else, and
just everybody would have
exactly. Everybody would have known exactly what he was talking about.
Facts. Let's play it.
Part of the N-word, and with the hard ER as well.
Right.
It's never a good thing. If there's ever a video of you saying the N-word that many times, you better pray one of two things: either you're a black person, or you're a dead man from history. Yeah, because then the worst thing is to take your statue
That's a
down
good one.
and move it into a museum. And as bad as it was seeing a supercut of Joe Rogan dropping the N-word like he bought it in bulk at Costco, an even worse part of the video, an even worse part of the video is when Joe Rogan, again on his podcast, told a story about going to a movie in a black neighborhood. And this is what he said.
So I go, you got to go to one where there's Planet of the Apes, man. We're going to go see Planet of the Apes. So I look on the iPhone app.
There's Joey.
And it says, okay, take me to this.
Yeah.
One. And the guy goes, okay. I go, is that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah.
Watch
guy
him
barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out and we're giggling. Oh, we're going to go see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door and there was no white people.
That's fucked up. You see, so bad it actually. I'm sorry, I'll pause it there for real quick, but I'm sorry, but that to me is the worst fucking thing he said, right? Because we already know, you know, they call us monkeys and gorillas and shit like that already. Now I get it. You may be trying to make a joke. You may be trying to be funny, but that's not funny. That joke was not funny. That was really poor taste.
Yeah, that was worse.
Yeah,
you know, if he could have saved himself though, because you know people like make that joke and they're just talking about people like acting crazy. Sometimes he could have just saved himself, but then he had to add no white people. It's like, oh fuck.
Yes.
And see, whole dude just completely just said, "I'm not in this shot." You know what I'm saying? Like completely was trying to remove his whole body from that. Like
the guy on the left is the guy I was telling you about is one of my favorite guests, Joe Coco Diaz. Mm-hmm. You see his face?
Yeah. He just like you saw him. He moved out. And I was all about like Joe Rogan, like, you know, talk about what you want to talk about, but like when I saw that,
fucking cocky.
I was like,
fucking cocky.
Yeah, go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
I like it's like watching it again. I'm just like dumbfounded. Like it's just, whoo.
I was anxious to see what you were talking about, Ashley, because Nzo didn't play the whole video, and I thought the first part was a little alarming. This part is you spit in my face, like to be called an ER is like you're provoking me. Mm-hmm. To call me a monkey is like to spit in my face, and I'm not even questioning it. I'm gonna behave like one. I'm gonna attack you. That's almost what it's like. You spit in my face. You call me a fucking monkey?
For real.
Like,
for real.
How can any good come out of that? Any good. For you to say you walked in, for me to say, yo, I walked into a den of gorillas. You would hope that I was talking about soldiers.
Or actually real gorillas, right?
But why would I walk into a den full of real gorillas? You know what I'm saying, Nzo. If I said, I went up in this party, this party was full of gorillas, yo. You're thinking I'm talking about big fucking gangster-looking brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or killers. Some kind of thing along those lines. But for him, like you said, to say we were the only white guys?
What?
They're crazy.
And he's on a mic? Is he doing a show?
Yeah, he was doing a show. That was one of his shows, yeah.
And like I said, I've watched Joe Rogan.
Me too.
So many times and enjoyed the show, listened to it, and it's just like, why you gotta do us like that?
Oh, I've always hated him.
See, I've never hated Joe Rogan. I always thought, he has provocative guests on, you know, he's controversial, you know, he does his thing, but I always was like, well, he's a comedian, you know?
Right. And K-Dots said, hold on, Ash, let me get to this one.
I know. It just like, I have no words still.
I just never found it interesting or funny outside of the odd episodes, so I never liked it.
The things I liked is that some of the topics that he would have on the show, I would watch them because I'd be interested in maybe his guests or some of the talking points. So I watched a lot of his show and I enjoyed it still. But K-Dot said, I get what he was trying to say. The ghettos can be wild, but he could have phrased that shit way better. That's not what he was saying, though.
And Joe Rogan's a very smart guy. That's not
what he's saying.
He's a very smart guy.
Right. That is not what he's saying.
He said it the way he said it, the way he meant it. I'm sorry. It was too smooth. Wasn't like it was planned. It just came out natural. Maybe, listen, everybody has a little racism in them.
Facts.
Again, it's just use your discretion, idiot. Like, if I'm going to share my thoughts, that's when I talk to myself. Because I know the person I'm sharing it with might not have the same feeling. And that shit spreads like cancer when you say stupid shit like that.
I agree.
I'm sorry, Joe. You just lost me, man. I wish I never saw that. I'm glad I did.
And like for me, like growing up in the South, like I've heard people call people porch monkeys and stuff.
Donnie was talking about that today. Yeah.
Yeah, we laughed because we were shocked. I never heard that in my life.
Yeah, like they will say you're, calling people porch monkeys and and things like that. And it's just like, man, why'd you have to say that? Like, I can almost get been like, okay, you said the N-word a bunch of times, and you're framing it in the way that this person said this or called this person. Okay, I can, but it's just like
all those times?
All of that. I'm just saying. I'm just being devil's advocate here a little bit. Okay, right?
Because that's
and
a lot of times.
To hear him say that all those different times, and then that on top of it, it's just like,
and you know what?
I just feel like that's just like how you feel. But I don't hate him. I'm really not surprised. The more I think about it, but it's just crazy and ridiculous. Because I was all like, let this man have his platform and talk about unvaccinated and have these, different people come on the show, right, and things like that. And then I see that and I'm like, I can't support that. I can't listen to Joe Rogan no more. I can't, I can't get down with any of that.
And let's be real, he did come out and he did apologize for it, right? He came out, he did apologies for it, and he even says an apology. I don't think it's in this video, but he apologized, and he even says that he had one of the best experiences he ever had going to movies when he went to go see the Planet of the Apes. But at the same time, like, you gotta understand what calling us apes and monkeys and shit like that does, even as a joke.
He knows. Trust me, he knows. He's not a dumb guy. He's a smart guy. He knows a lot of people. He knows a lot of people that it would offend. But when you get in the moment, like I said, sometimes you speak before you think.
And let me put it another way too, because I know he went on tour with Dave Chappelle. So I know he probably hangs with a lot of black people, right? And maybe at the time he felt it was okay to say it because they were saying it. But again, we say it with A, not with the ER. He's literally saying the fucking slang that, they have for us, that our ancestors have fought for our ancestors, that, brings back bad memories for. So he used it as that type of way. And I don't know, man. But K-Dots said, real talk, how you guys feel about someone reading a Tom Sawyer book in school? I remember we read that in middle school and no one beeped out the word. So here's what I'll say. It's a book. It's a movie. It's stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, you can't say that. And especially in the context of the movie, right? So if you're watching 12 Years a Slave, you got to expect to see that movie, Tarantino's movies are not.
I was going to Tarantino's movie.
Right.
That was the X Games. He fucking killed it.
Exactly.
He killed it.
Exactly. Right. So when you watch Django, you could expect it in the.
Did Nzo freeze or did I freeze?
I think he did. I thought I did. First,
because it's usually me. It's usually me.
Shoot, lately it's been mine at times, so I thought it was me first.
Shit, I hear you guys talking. I was like, yeah, it was me that first.
What were you saying, Nzo? Because I was really paying attention.
Me too.
And again, stuck on the cliffhanger.
Think you had a weed moment.
Yeah, where did I leave off?
You were talking about Django Unchained.
Right. So Django Unchained, that movie.
You'd expect. I have a question for you. But what about in Pulp Fiction?
Pulp Fiction, they use that word a lot. And those type of movies, like, I know why he does it, but it doesn't need to be in there. Like, you don't need to have those movies in that movie, especially, you know what I mean, Kill Bill and all those type of movies. It's like, it feels like he loves it. Like, he holds on to that word, and I got to make sure that I have a scene in my movie where I can say the N-word. And that's
Tarantino.
The setting that Tarantino uses, that word was used very often.
Oh yeah, because he thinks it's.
I was just asking the question because like people have had a lot of criticism about him, in his
I thought he abused it in Django. That's it. He abused
You
it
know,
in Django.
but
Yeah, because since it's you know, that word, like he thinks whenever he uses it, it makes it like that more powerful. The scene.
Right.
But I didn't live during those times to say whether it was used that often or not. But when he refers to stuff in the 70s, yes, the word was used very often.
Yeah.
Very, very often.
Yeah.
So,
well, Pulp Fiction was in the 90s.
Right.
But wasn't the settings the 70s though?
No, it was the
no.
The 90s?
No, it was
Yeah,
it was in modern time when the film came out.
Yeah. Pulp Fiction was.
No, I'm saying that I know it was made in the 90s.
No, the setting in the movie.
The setting
was,
of the movie too. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember her wearing like a Bruce Lee outfit or something like that. That yellow one piece.
No, that was Kill Bill.
I got it all fucked up.
Yeah. And Kill Bill was set in our time too, as well. You know what I mean? Dandelion said the color of a person's skin has no relation to their genetic proximity to other primates. White people are as close related as black people to other primates. 100%. And I always say that many times. Color of skin doesn't fucking matter to what type of person you are. You know what I mean? Like, who cares about?
I've told you, Nzo, that I call everybody monkey. You could be you stupid Chinese monkey, you Asian monkey, you black monkey, you white monkey. I call everybody monkey, but the fact that he said we were the only white guys, he's making reference to his surroundings. That's what I have a problem with.
Right. Absolutely. And exactly, right? Because you know what I mean? He walks into a place with a bunch of black people and says, I walked into the Planet of the Apes, right? K-Dots said, I wasn't bothered by it, but the white kids in my class had red faces when we read Tom Sawyer books. But you know what? That's what it's supposed to do for them, right? It's supposed to make them cringy. It's supposed to make white people say like, yeah, you know, we shouldn't be using this word or anything like that. That's what it should be. But again, it also comes down to, and I say this all the time, us as black people as well, because we use it. You know what I mean? We use it constantly.
I don't use it.
I try not to use it either. As sometimes it slips out because you know when we were growing up, that's when we used it, right? Like all the music I used saying it when I was like 16 and whatever. And my father used to always tell me, "Don't ever say that fucking word."
Yeah, I used to say it to
no
my
matter what,
friend.
no matter what the context was, right? And that's the thing. There's people that say, "Well, we don't know the context of what he's saying," but my parents and other like generations above us, they don't care about the context. It's the word.
There was no beauty to the word. There was no beauty to the word at all.
Right. There's no fucking like, oh, that's your boy. You use don't use that word around me. You know? Paul said, I walked into a cinema in the ghetto. It was like I was in Africa. There were no white people. Said 12 years ago. When did he say black people were apes? Genuinely asking. He said it in the video.
He said he did not say black people are apes. He said I
walked into the planet of
the apes.
Yes. Meaning when he walked into the theater.
You can't defend this one, Paul. I'm sorry. You can't defend this one.
Meaning he walked into the theater and it was like Planet of the Apes because and he could have been saying, you know, you could take it and say, oh, he walked into the theater and he's going to watch Planet of the Apes. But then he says there was no white people in there. So that goes to show you he was talking about all the black people in there.
And even if he said Africa instead of Planet of the Apes, I mean, there's tons of white people in Africa.
Absolutely.
We know where you're going with it.
Absolutely.
We don't have to start breaking it down. Are you referring to South Africa? What part of Africa are you referring to? We know what you're saying.
Facts. 100%.
He is be like.
Dandelion says, I'm old. We still read it when I was in school, but I don't think we even used the N-word in the 80s when I read it in school. It's possible.
Teachers get fired for using the word.
Facts. In Reservoir Dogs, the main character who's believed the cops was a big-time racist, he was one of them old-school racist white dudes too. Remember the conversation in the car? Right, where they kept continuing to say the N-word in that movie. 100%. And you know, Quentin Tarantino, I know he has done interviews about trying to explain why he uses it so much, and I just don't buy his excuses. Like, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, they said the N-word in Kill Bill. If I'm not mistaken, they do. I can't remember
when. I can't remember.
Oh wait, they did. I don't remember that.
I don't recall.
Maybe not. Right. Maybe not because I watched so many of his movies. You could be getting them mixed up, but I'd have to go back and watch it and see.
But like, even for me, I'm just going to make my point with Quentin Tarantino films, like in the context, the way it's used with the specific characters that use the words, it seems realistic for that character to have used it. So I wasn't offended seeing the films and hearing it. I will say that.
Right. And Young Boy said, bro, he's being attacked because of he challenges the status quo. Maybe he does, but you still got to be careful what you say because this shit will come up years later. You know what I mean?
Different times.
Yeah.
And he should know better. He should know we're living in a censored world now. What you say could ruin you. So
and then and then going further in this video, like I said, Trevor Noah makes a point that he made a choice to use the word, right? And he could have done something completely different and everybody would have known exactly what he was talking about.
Right, exactly. And we'll get to that. We'll continue. Paul said I didn't offend it. To be fair,
I'm not
the perspective you were talking. No,
sorry, Paul. I'm just being a public defender. Sorry.
Yeah.
Got in defense
I was just answering, so I wasn't.
Right, we're not saying that you were.
Oh, he's talking about me. I said it.
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't.
He apologized.
Get banned.
Yeah, I mean, so did the Nazis on the trial. So,
right, exactly. You know,
they want Joe Biden passing out crack pipes. I mean, he learned it from Rob Ford.
Yeah,
and to be real,
I don't like Joe Biden. So that's a whole
and to be real, sometimes you gotta question some of these guys' apologies, right? Are they apologizing because they're genuinely sorry, or they apologize because they know it's gonna affect their bottom line? Because the company says you need to come out and apologize. You know what I mean? So you gotta definitely think about that as well. Now, I think it was very poorly phrased. If you watch 2 minutes after the phase, it's just all conjecture at this point. I keep saying
Joe Rogan is a smart guy.
And here he comes.
The difference between ER and AH. He knows the difference.
You know,
that ER cannot be used. You know, even if you're making reference to somebody else. Like I said, teachers have gotten fired over reading literature where the word is in it.
Mm-hmm. Facts. And Chillmonger said Rogan changed before he was called out. I'm not going to get my outrage out now because I didn't get a chance to when he was talking like that. I commented the change ways before this manufactured storm.
Yeah, how old is this stuff?
Yes, exactly.
If you want Rogan to stop,
did he say 12?
It's about 12 years old, yeah.
I mean, I just think that like I said, he said it a bunch of times. Anytime I've watched Joe Rogan, I've not heard it. So that's why I'm saying it was shocking and I was surprised by it.
Right, exactly.
But the thing that out of all of it to me that was the most offensive was the movie theater thing.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I feel like regardless if you said it yesterday or 10 years ago, I still can be offended by what you said.
Right?
You know, I'm glad that he has made the change, but I still feel like I could be like, well, what you said was fucked up.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's fucked up.
Absolutely. 100%.
Oh, you're dropping Nager and noodles. Nice.
Let's hear what he has to say.
The good old days. I mean, you walk into a cinema in a black neighborhood and you call it Planet of the Apes? Oof. I mean, unless he means he was blown away by the black neighborhood cinematography and storytelling, although I doubt it. Anyway, because of this video, right, and India Ari, Joe Rogan was forced to make yet another stop on his Apology World Tour. And this one was a lot more, and I mean a lot more apologetic than his vaccine video.
I'm making this video to talk about the most regretful and shameful thing that I've ever had to talk about publicly. There's a video that's out that's a compilation of me saying the N-word. It's a video that's made of clips taken out of context of me of 12 years of conversations on my podcast, and it's all smushed together, and it looks fucking horrible, even to me. Now, I know that to most people, there's no context where a white person is ever allowed to say that word, never mind publicly on a podcast. And I agree with that now. I haven't said it in years, but for a long time, when I would bring that word up, like if it would come up in conversation, instead of saying the N-word, I would just say the word. Like that context was part of the clip we were talking about Red Fox, how Red Fox said that word on television in the 1970s, and how times have changed so much since then. Or about how Richard Pryor used it as one of the titles of one of his albums. But for years, I used it in that manner. I never used it to be racist because I'm not racist. But whenever you're in a situation where you have to say, I'm not racist, you fucked up. And I
agree with that.
Clearly have fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah, you can tell Joe Rogan knows he's in trouble. Because in the vaccine video, if you remember, like he's outside, he's enjoying a nice day. Here he was in a library. He's like, look, I'm learning. See the books? I'm learning. Shit is serious. And you can tell it's serious. You can tell because he's like, guys, my brain used to think a certain way. It does not think that way anymore at all. I disavow that man. I disavow him. You know, this kind of reminded me of, it kind of reminded me of when my mom used to get the belt and I was a little kid and I'd be like, mommy, old Trevor liked cookies, but new Trevor does not think that way anymore. New Trevor doesn't even know where the cookies are on the top shelf. And going forward, I only want to eat vegetables, mommy.
Wow, this is so funny.
God, not
now,
funny.
even though Rogan apologized, this was strange. A lot of people were arguing sort of against his apology, saying that the N-word with context is totally fine for a white person to say. Yeah, you know, and I understand what they're saying. Like, you know, maybe you're a professor teaching history. Maybe you're a news anchor reporting on a story about Joe Rogan. Maybe you're in a Quentin Tarantino movie and you have to use the N-word, because if you don't, then the movie has no dialogue. But for the most part, as a white person, you never need to use the N-word. There's no like need. For example, I've gone this entire story saying the N-word, and everyone has understood exactly what I've meant, right?
We'll get to that.
Nobody's
Paul.
sitting at home going, Nutella? Neanderthal? Nelly Furtado? Why is Trevor being so vague? What is the word? In fact, here's a life hack for white people. Saying the actual N-word puts you in unnecessary trouble, especially if you're not racist. It doesn't matter the context, because black people don't have the time to sit down and sort out the racist who says the N-word 70 times with the non-racist who says the N-word 70 times. Black people are dealing with too much shit. No, look at how I was using it. No, dude, no one's got the time for that. Just stop saying it or just be racist. It's easier for everyone that way. So look, I'm glad that Joe Rogan has gone, you know what? I didn't need to use that word all those times, because people need to learn. And I'm glad that he has, right? Mm-hmm. So Joe Rogan is saying that him using the word in context wasn't racist, but it was ignorant and not cool. Okay, fine. But don't forget, there's also the story where Joe Rogan calls black people apes. And so for that part of the apology, Joe Rogan says this.
I did not, nor would I ever say that black people are apes, but it sure fucking sounded like that. I was just saying there's a lot of black people there. But then I went on to talk about what a positive experience it was and how much fun it was to go to see this movie in a black neighborhood. It wasn't a racist story, but it sounded terrible. It's a fucking idiotic thing to say. And I was just trying to be entertaining. I certainly wasn't trying to be racist. And I certainly would never want to offend someone for entertainment with something as stupid as racism.
All right, I'm not gonna lie. I have a few issues with this part of the video. First of all, he says he would never say black people are apes, but he said that. That's literally what he said. If you said you walked into a black place and it was Planet of the Apes, then you've said that. You've said, you can't be like, oh, no, I didn't say it. You did say it, which is racist, right? And it's not just racist. Like,
I was going to ask you to play it again, Onzo. Did we not hear what we heard?
Yeah,
for real.
I never called black people apes. I just said there are a lot of black people, and then I said Planet the... Wait, what?
Exactly. Go ahead.
Now
guys.
he's insulting us. Now he's insulting us again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw, I didn't know I was on mute. I was like, Onzo, hold on. Could you go back and play it? Because I know what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
But he's trying to say that I heard different. Is that what he's trying to say? That we heard different?
He said he didn't say it.
Did you see how he twisted how he said it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's even okay. This guy just should shut the fuck up and have someone that deals with this professionally with the public represent him.
And I need to look into, because someone in the chat said something, and I need to verify that when I was telling you about when he had his co-host say the word, that was only 3 years ago.
3 years ago, yeah, Milwaukee Bucks.
So
that.
So I need to, I don't know if how long ago that one was, but.
Well, if everyone was judged on their worst moments, we would all be screwed. I mean, not wrong, but still did this. And I mean, I don't know about to this extent with the Planet of the Apes line.
What's up, Sci-Fi? Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, man, it's an issue. Like I say it again. And Roberto said, like he said, it's like, you saying you didn't say it. At least come on, apologize. Say, listen, I said it. It was a bad joke. Even if you said that, it's a bad joke. But you said, I didn't say that. That's the issue.
That's like the original old school. Like that's on the Mount Rushmore of racism, Black people are apes. It's right next to burning crosses and then like every Bugs Bunny cartoon from the 1940s. What I found particularly illuminating is when he says, I wasn't being racist. I was just being entertaining. No, Joe, I think you were using racism to be entertaining.
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying you were trying to offend Black people, by the way, but you knew that offending Black people would get a laugh out of those white friends that you were with. And please understand this, guys. I'm a comedian, right? Which you would know if I had a live audience right now. Yeah. They would be like, ha, Trevor, you're the greatest of all time. Yeah,
so we're mince rolls.
And I love making jokes. And I love hearing jokes. And I love all kinds
that's what
of
they
jokes,
would say.
Right? I love safe jokes. I like dark jokes. I like jokes. But just because something is a joke doesn't mean it can't be something else as well. Because a joke can be racist.
Facts.
Right? In fact, a joke can be racist and funny if you're telling it to the right crowd. No joke is something that
racist crowd.
Find it funny. But the laughs don't mean that there's no racism. Think of it this way. If I rob a bank and I get busted, I can't defend myself by saying, nah, guys, I did it as a joke. Yeah, but you pistol whipped the bank.
It's just a prank, bro.
Yeah, but I made a funny sound when I did it. I was like, give me the money, bitch. So do I get to go now? So yeah, Joe Rogan is saying that he would never say something racist. And now, because of that, obviously in the video, a lot of his fans are like, yeah, he would never say something racist. It's just a joke. You guys are uptight. He would never say something racist. A joke is not racist. And you know what? I can have my opinion, and you can have your opinion. Fine. But you know whose opinion I think matters more than most people? Is Joe Rogan. And here's what Joe Rogan said about his joke when he said it.
We walked into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door, and there was no white people. There was no white people. Planet of the Apes didn't take place in Africa. That was a racist thing for me to say.
Yeah, exactly.
You see?
It is a racist thing for you to say. You're saying it's racist, but then in the video, you're going to be like, oh, it wasn't racist. Joe Rogan said a racist thing and then immediately acknowledged that it was racist. Literally when he said it. He said it and then he's like, oh, that was racist. And then now he's like, I'd never say racist. Like, this whole thing makes me go like, why are people so adamant that it wasn't racist? Why do people do a thing that's racist and then they go like, no, it's not racist? Can I be honest with you? Honestly, I'm not a scholar. I'm not like the whatever. This is my opinion. I think it's because people are just truly petrified of having the label racist branded on them for life. That's what people are really afraid of. No one wants to be called a racist because then they're like, how long am I a racist for? Am I racist for life? Am I racist? I can't get jobs. Am I no? I just want to be racist, but I don't want to be called a racist, which is understandable. But it also makes people unable to admit when they say or do something racist. Right? They would rather down the hill of them not being racist, even if it means giving convoluted excuses that don't make any sense. So anyway, after all those videos come out, Joe Rogan got into even more hot water. Yeah, more artists spoke out. The Rock.
Don't worry, guys. We'll get to your comments.
And now, because of that, more of his podcast videos are coming under scrutiny, right? There's a video where Rogan is promoting the Proud Boys. There's videos where he's laughing about like female comedians being forced to perform sexual favors.
Pause 1 minute before I lose this thought, Nzo.
Yeah, go ahead.
These guys keep making
They're horrible
reference
movies.
to in the chat that he's a comedian. He's making jokes. He wasn't telling a joke there. He was telling a story, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, he was trying to add jokes to it, but it definitely.
But it was a story. It wasn't like I have this joke. One day, this guy. No, he's telling a story. Me and my boys went to see a movie. What was the joke? The neighborhood he went into? Because from what I took from it, he's telling the story about him and his boys going to a movie, and it was an all-black theater. He was the only white guys, so he felt like he was in a live fucking showing of Planet of the Apes. That's what I took from what he said.
And I didn't find it as a joke. I found it as a story because.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say, Ashley.
I found it as a story. I've literally heard. I don't know if I can't remember the comedian's name. He used to do like these. He was a white comedian, and a lot of the audience, his audience, were predominantly black. Okay, he told a joke about how Cracker Barrel was owned by black people, right? Which it's not. And he said, and they changed the name to the N-word basket. I was not offended, and I laughed because the joke was funny. Okay? Mm-hmm. To me, he's not making a joke. He's telling a story.
Thank you.
Right.
So and all the chat that's defending him for making a joke, it wasn't funny. The guy laughed because he didn't know what else to do.
And straight up, let's get this off the back because I hear people saying, "Oh, Chappelle, one of my favorite artists, makes jokes about white people all the time." You're absolutely right. He does.
They're jokes,
100%. But
you can say something racist and not be a racist,
right? You know? And he knows what he's doing. He will tell you, he makes racist jokes. He doesn't deny that. What Joe Rogan is saying right in this video is that I wasn't being racist, but then at the end of the videos, he says that was racist. Like, what does that say? You know what I mean? I have no problems with white people making black jokes.
I go to the Nasty Show.
Bro,
everybody says jokes. It's jokes. You go there to laugh.
Hey, the Minstrel Show wasn't racist because it's entertaining, you know?
Right.
Yes, it's a sensitive time we live in now.
The first time it was on Comic Relief, right? With Whoopi Goldberg, Robin Williams, and Billy Crystal. Don Rickles came out on there. And Don Rickles was just fucking everything he said was a racist fucking joke. I was fuming. I was laughing at the jokes, but I was fuming until at the end of his fucking thing, he says, yes, I know, racist jokes, whatever, but if we can't laugh at ourselves or we can't have fun, what is the point? So I have no problems with that. You know what I mean? Russell fucking Peters used to make black jokes and all kinds of stuff like that, and they do it. I have no issues with that.
Panel, is Joe a racist? I mean, no one knows. I would say I don't think he's racist. I don't think it's a racist, but he still said some racist things.
Does it matter whether he's a racist?
I don't think he
said it.
Right.
I don't think he's fundamentally racist.
Hold on, let me throw stuff at Paul.
Yeah.
You steal something like everybody. You take something that's not rightfully yours. Are you a thief for life? Are you like a thief, or did you get caught stealing?
Right.
He said something. It wasn't a joke. He made a racist comment. The fact that he's trying to justify it the way he is, he's a fucking racist. Because not only did he make a racist comment, he can't respect our intelligence enough to admit what he did rightfully. He's trying to tell us we didn't see and hear what we saw. Man up to it. Maybe there'll be less damage done. But the fact that you're insulting us as you're going ahead, just shut the fuck up. Because I was one of your biggest supporters. It's hard for you to turn on someone instantly, but all they got to do is insult you more than 1 or 2 times, and you could turn on somebody.
So Young Boy said they be using race to divide us because this man gets 11 times the views Fox and CNN do. They want him gone. He's a danger. Like, yeah, for real. Like, who fucking cares?
I don't care. I don't care. Let him stay online.
Let's be real. Let's be real. Joe Rogan's had his podcast for how many years now, right? How many years now? Whatever you want to say, He had no right to be running around saying the N-word, and he definitely called us monkeys in that video. There's no fucking doubt about it. He called us monkeys.
If he had made those same references to the LBGTQ, sorry, I can't get the abbreviation correct. If he made those same references towards them, there wouldn't be a debate. He'd be ruined. He'd be ruined.
Sci-Fi Nation said that depends. Was Pryor serious when he called us honkies? From what I know is Richard Pryor did that in his comedy shows, which meaning he was trying to make people laugh, which was talking about racist stuff absolutely 100%. But again, what we were trying to explain to you guys is, like Ashley and Roberto said, he was telling a story. You know what I mean? He wasn't sitting there telling a joke. He was telling a story, and he tried to be funny by saying, hey, yeah, man, we're a bunch of white guys, and we walked into Planet of the Apes. He's trying to be funny. Now, we're not saying, and I've said this at the beginning, I don't think Joe Rogan is a racist. I do not.
I don't know. I don't know him well enough to say he is or isn't.
That as well, too, right? Because we don't know what he's doing behind closed doors or anything like that. But because he's never, like, other than this stuff, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But at the end of the day, he said something racist. He did some racist shit, and he has to step up to that. And you know what I mean? Instead of saying, well, I didn't say racism stuff, but he actually did in the video say he said racist. So
we've seen people pay a hell of a lot more for a hell of a lot less in the times that we're living in.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking about a story just last week, how old it was about Floyd and the nails.
Right.
Look how people went after Floyd for that.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine you defended Floyd?
Oh, right. When he because he didn't want to shake the guy's hand because of
the
nails.
But now it's okay to defend a guy who used a word.
Good point.
Some black people are uncomfortable using.
Good point.
Like this is when I get fucking heated, and I'll start calling people out. Maybe you should look in the mirror if you're going to defend shit like that, because righteous is righteous. There's no partial in it. You're either righteous or you ain't.
Absolutely.
And what he did was fucked up. Apologize. Maybe some people will forgive you because they loved you from the get-go. Some people won't, and we're entitled to make that decision. But for you to say that you didn't say what you said when you know you said it, for you to deny what you said when you know you said it, and you shouldn't have. You even admitted it. That's what's fucking bringing out the rage in people.
Facts, 100%. Sean, Ashley, you guys got anything to say before we continue?
I don't, like I said, I don't think he's fundamentally racist.
I don't care if he's racist. That's what I'm saying.
He said things that I feel like he needs to, he said things that I am offended by. And that's it. I'm not going to watch Joe Rogan anymore. I'm not going to be like, oh, he's just edgy and, slightly controversial. I'm not going to be on that bandwagon anymore. And the fact that 3 years ago he was on his stream and was, taunting his co-host to use a word, and he used a word. I mean, that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on. This is embarrassing. Y'all silly as hell, man. Young boy, I don't give a fuck what you think. You're just by your name, young boy, tells me that you have no common sense whatsoever. So if you don't like people speaking facts, then you can take your ass off of this fucking channel and you can bounce. I don't care, bro. You know what I mean? Got people in here that are having a conversation.
He's allowed to his opinion.
No. But when he's telling people we silly, right? Y'all silly as hell.
It's okay.
That's what he does. But that's what young boy does,
It's okay. We're not going to let him get us out of context because we know. Listen, if he's a comedian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it when Chappelle was actually doing a skit telling a story, he got fucking shredded?
Facts.
You remember? This is a skit. He's doing a show, right? He's telling a story in a comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a comedy show that he was doing? If it was, maybe he's doing a skit. Bad context. Apologize and move on. It's as simple as that. Apologize. That's not an
100%.
apology what you gave. You're trying to
100%.
justify it.
100%. A lot of Joe Rogan's guests are suspect. That's another issue within itself, but he chooses to have those people on. 100%.
And you could watch him and like them. He has so many guests, you can pick and choose to watch the ones you like. I don't like all of his guests. Some of his guests I find are idiots. They're there for I don't know what purpose, but the ones that he has on that touch me, they're great shows.
Right.
I never thought Joe Rogan was a racist.
Absolutely. Sci-Fi said Mel Gibson, white dude said a racist comment to whites. Mel Gibson said a racist comment to whites. Both have yet to be seen anywhere.
Okay, I think that
No,
the
he
whole
attacked
thing
the
was,
Jews.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and we had a discussion about with Nervan, about that, and a lot of people of Jewish descent are offended when you refer to them as just white, and yeah, he said he hated Jews to a cop. He did do that. But he also did some other things too. Like he was, possibly, abusive to his pregnant, girlfriend at the time. Don't really know all about that. So I said, allegedly, don't know what happened in that situation. And then a lot of other things that he was doing, his alcoholism and different things were also at play in that situation.
Right. And Camilla said, a racist is someone who has disdain against a certain group of people. He ain't that or doesn't appear to be. I'm getting pissed off that no one questions JB history in the Senate. He is a racist. So let me tell you something.
Okay, I don't like Joe Biden. Okay, I don't like Joe Biden. I don't support Joe Biden. So for me, I don't know what does Joe Biden have to do with what Joe Rogan said?
Right.
Okay, Joe Biden to me and Kamala Harris, I don't like either one of them. Okay, I don't support them in any way. I believe that he is a racist. So I don't know what that has to do with Joe Rogan. Okay.
Right. And I'll say this, 3 of us on here are Canadian. So we could care less about Biden. But I'll tell you,
I was happy he took that guy out, and that's where it ended.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, both suck, but I'm glad he took him out.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'll tell you this. I watched it was Kwame Brown, right? From the basketball player there, whatever. He had Judge Joe Brown on. All right. And Judge Joe Brown literally said that he went to a meeting, whatever, not meeting, but like a rally. Joe Biden was talking racist shit. So I'm inclined to believe that. But at the end of the day, I'm Canadian. I don't care. That's you guys' mess. You guys clean that shit up. We got our own shit to worry about over here in Canada.
Because since we're on top of the map below the U.S. for the Canes, they worry about their shit while we just relax.
Yeah, we don't care about that shit, man. So let's see here what's said. I'm not arguing. I'm just trying to figure out why one race can make a joke about another, but not one about the other. Well, you see, again,
on the joke thing.
Again,
wasn't the joke
because of the history, but yeah, it also wasn't a joke, but also history. But also, there are people, say even other black people that say even black people should stop doing it. It's just it depends.
100%.
Remember when we did our show on what we said?
Yeah.
I mean, we can't expect everybody in the comments to know what we said last year on this topic, but we got we got educated by Danny in the South, where the word is used common, and it's been used common forever. So there's some places where the word won't disappear.
Right.
But if you ask me personally, I'll tell you, I don't like the word. I don't see the word. The word is too conflicting. When you start allowing certain people to use things and not others, it doesn't become righteous. So I'm a hypocrite by saying I'm a righteous guy practicing non-righteous things.
100%.
Either we all say it or we can't.
We don't say it exactly. You know what I mean? And I say it starts with us as well.
And I can't see us all saying it. Sorry.
No, right. Start not saying it, right? And when we start accepting the fact that maybe we shouldn't use it, then we can actually say, okay, now that we're not using it, you all better not use it as well. You know what I mean? But until that day comes, we're still going to have situations like this. Because like I said, and especially with the generation now, my son's friends, white friends, he said some say it. Like, you let your white friends say that word? Yeah. It's no big deal. That's how they think about it, right?
Yeah,
but
they hand out passes. Yeah.
Right. But because our generation is so close to the generation that actually suffered from the word, we understand what it meant to that generation, right? The younger generation, the younger they get, they're not going to understand what the weight of that word is.
Well, Nzo, how could you blame them? If I tell you,
I'm not.
I tell you, what's up, nigga? Meaning, what's up, homeboy?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he my homeboy? So why can't he call? You know, that's
right.
How they see it.
Right.
And I can understand the reflection of it.
Yes.
You know? That's why I say maybe it's better we don't use it. Because if it's going to be a debate like this, there's no logic to it. Maybe they see racism the same way. That's why we can't get over racism.
100%. And that's what I'm saying. We have to be the ones to start that. If that's the case, we have to be the ones to say, no, we are not going to accept it anymore. We got to get it out of our music, out of the TV shows, and out of everything, right? And get it out of there. And then when we do that, then we can actually try and get this word banned. You know, and I remember growing up, Oprah had a big fucking campaign to ban the word. And we laughed at her. I don't laugh at that anymore. Because she saw what's happening now. And I don't like Oprah at all.
I don't like Oprah. She does so many negative things against the Black community as a whole with what she represents. I don't like Oprah at all. I can't say that I haven't said it, because I have, but also for me, it's like, I don't, especially with my son, when people see him, and if they see him say it, what's gonna happen to him? He's got red hair and green eyes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's like my daughter. She's dark skinned and she could speak Armenian. You should see how she fucks people up.
Paul said, in your opinion, he was telling a story. Why did he laugh after telling the story? Why did they laugh? Because he was telling an edgy joke. I don't like it. And even he said it's racist. But then in his video, after he says he never said anything racist. That's the point.
And he wouldn't call Black people apes because that would be racist.
And that's what he did, though.
If he would have said, I was all into that apology until you get to the second. If he would have just said, yeah, I said it. It was a joke. It was a bad joke. And it was a racist joke. You know what? But I had a great, and then talk about his experience at the movie theater. Then it wouldn't have felt like you're literally, like I literally heard what you said, and then you said that you didn't say it. It's just like also ownership of it. Like just owning it. You just own that you did it.
You could have just said, I fucked up. I apologize.
Facts.
And that's it.
Yeah, I'm just saying that would have been simple. But I'm saying when it came to all of that, his explanation about his experience. I'm saying that if he, if he started off with, what I said was wrong, I shouldn't have said it, and it was racist.
Absolutely. 100%.
I could tell you this. Growing up, my friends would always give me like a pre-warning. Like, this is a Black joke.
Yes.
That's what they would tell me before they say the joke, right? So now I'm getting prepared for it. If it was funny, I would fucking laugh. I would know that's a good one.
Hold on. Sorry for cutting you off, Roberto. And you're right. 100%. And I've had.
I didn't see this one. I didn't know about this one.
Yes. There is a video of him saying it's a light-skinned guy with a black mother, black father, or whatever, one of the two, whichever way. And he says, oh, you get the best of both worlds. You get a black man's body and a white man's brain. He says
B-Dot lies.
Yes.
B-Dot, that is
Yes.
lies, and you know it.
Yes,
I did
Rogan
not
has-
send you any text message.
Rogan did say that. Yes, he did say that. I'll see if I can find it because I think I have it somewhere. I watched it somewhere.
See, I didn't
I'll see
even
if
know
I can
about this
find it.
video. But also, like when I see some of these other videos that I've seen, I'm like, oh, he said a lot of crazy. You remember the other links I sent you, Nzo?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like wild shit across. It's just like, but hey.
Listen, sometimes you get on stage, you're doing your jokes, that's fine. But like we said many times, this didn't seem like he was telling a joke. Seemed more like he was telling us. Yeah, right. So Joe's joke was ass cheeks, that's all. But I don't think he's racist. The joke was weak because the delivery didn't add up. K-Dot said somewhere here, he said, any race can make whatever they want to, just have good jokes. If the joke is trash, then I'm not going to laugh. That is correct. Hey, man, we even Roberto said it. We all said it. We've heard some fucking jokes. When the dude called me a spear chucker, I could not stop fucking laughing. And he didn't even do it as a joke. But it was so fucking funny to me that I just broke out laughing. And I was like, I never heard that before. Spear chucker? Ha, ha, ha. You know, so... Scuba Steve said true. Bad joke is a bad joke, but still as a comedian standpoint, they move on, build up. K-Dot, Joe Rogan has been doing stand-up for a hell of a long time. Absolutely, 100%. Dandelion said, he's totally racist. You can have all the black friends in the world and still be racist. 100%. I've never watched him. Joe Rogan has good podcasts. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? He's had some good people on there. He's Robert Downey Jr. on there, and he's had Robert Downey Jr. there discussing the Tropic Thunder blackface stuff, right? Which they tried to get Robert Downey Jr. on that. And he talks about how Jamie Foxx called him and told him to do it. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of good stuff on the Joe Rogan podcast. That's for sure. There's also a video of him saying black people have, different brains than white people.
Hold on,
I just wish more people in the world would realize on both sides, the person that's almost getting canceled and the people trying to cancel them, that you can say a racist thing and apologize and not be a racist itself. You know, I wish more people in the world realize that.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. What are you going to say, Roberto?
I don't recall any of us calling him a racist.
None of us.
I didn't say Joe Rogan is a racist.
Yeah, no one is.
I
don't think anyone on the panel has called him a racist. So for everyone to defend this, he isn't a racist, he isn't a racist. None of us called him a racist. Why don't we stick to the point that we're talking about? What he said and how he defended it.
Right.
You don't defend an apology.
For real.
Because if you defend an apology, you're more guilty than the get-go.
100%.
If I apologize and use the word but, am I really apologizing?
No.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely not.
Sorry for what I said, but that's not what I said.
Exactly. Or when someone says to you, you know, I'm sorry. The reason why I did that is for X, Y, and Z. Like, that's still not an apology either, in my opinion. You know,
absolutely.
You're explaining it away.
Yeah, 100%. Freedom of speech is dead.
I was gonna say, I know.
I'm not for cancel. I'm not for cancel culture at all. But
none of us are.
To make it seem like it's like one specific group of people that are out here trying to cancel people. That is not true, and we all know that. 100%.
So here's what we'll do. Watch the rest of this video, then we'll get to the comments, and then we'll close it up.
Yeah, I'm so heated. I didn't even realize the time.
Hey, man, Roberto.
I'm like, what's going on? Almost 3 hours.
Yeah, Roberto, I'm glad you're heated.
Something you shouldn't have said in public, basically. Rogan has said it on his podcast, which, as you can imagine, is a pretty big problem for Spotify. Because now they own $100 million worth of problems. So this weekend, after dealing with all the episodes with vaccine information, Spotify was now scrambling to take down all the offensive episodes that they could find. In fact, I think we have some footage of Spotify headquarters over the weekend.
This is so dumb.
We are taking heavy fire. I need you to delete those podcasts.
We're deleting them as fast as we can.
We're still getting backlash from the vaccines. I can't make it stop.
New reports of misogyny are popping up everywhere.
Sir, incoming Planet of the Apes story.
Bastards never stood a chance.
Okay, that's the only
But for
funny
real, though,
thing
Spotify's having
so
a hell
far,
of a time
and it's not by
navigating this
Trevor Noah.
situation. And you can tell like how tough this is from the response of their CEO.
Spotify and its CEO Daniel Ek responding to the latest controversy around the Joe Rogan Experience. In a memo to staff, Ek said, quote, "Not only are some of Joe Rogan's comments incredibly hurtful, I want to make clear that they do not represent the values of the company." Ek adding, he does not believe silencing Rogan is the answer.
Ek said he is committing $100 million, the same amount as Rogan's reported contract, to license, develop, and market audio content from creators from historically marginalized groups.
Ah, man, gotta feel bad for Spotify. You know, they just want to be a company that screws over musicians, and now they got to deal with racism. They just can't catch a break. But yeah, Spotify will spend Joe Rogan's exact salary on amplifying the voices of marginalized groups. That's what they say they're going to do, which I guess is supposed to make them look good, but it's also kind of an admission that Rogan's podcast is bad for those groups, right? Like, otherwise you wouldn't need to balance him out. Does that make sense? Like, there's a reason that Spotify has never been forced to give $100 million to marginalized groups because of This American Life. I mean, whipping out your checkbook is the classic sign that you know you f***ed up. It's not real accountability. It's how rich dudes get out of car accidents when they know that it was their fault. You know, it's just like, wow, looks like I really wrecked you there. So how much does a new kid cost these days? 2 million? 3? You see, that was a dark joke. And if I had an audience right now, they'd be like, why are you saying that about children, Trev? Boo! And Spotify can say that Rogan's comments don't represent the company's values. You know, that's what they said. They said these podcasts do not represent Spotify's values. But like when companies say that, I'm like, guys, clearly the company's values are making money. Like, and no shade, by the way. Those are the values of every company.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know, part of me actually wishes that Spotify would just drop the facade. Just come out and be like, we do not believe in silencing Joe Rogan because he makes us money. But if at some point he ends up costing us money, then we will drop him because money. So, is Joe Rogan a racist because he said these things? I mean, people are going to go back and forth forever on this. You know, it almost made me think maybe the question we should be asking is, at what point is a person a racist?
Very good question.
Is it when they do a racist thing, or is it when they do many racist things? Or is it about the severity of the racism?
You know?
And then how do you measure the severity of racism? The truth is, everyone is going to have their own answer.
Just treat it like a thief.
Spotify has chosen
You're a
theirs.
thief, you're a thief.
And as for Joe Rogan, he says he's learned his lesson, and I hope he has. But I will say,
what
if
you
I were
steal
him,
is the fact you stole.
I wouldn't walk into a cinema in a black neighborhood for a little while.
I'm with him on that one. If I was Joe Rogan, I would stay away from any.
I want to say something really
ahead.
quickly based off what Pillowhead said. I don't think the affiliation of what political party matters. Who the person that made the video, if they said a racist thing, well, you know, that's not good either. But the fact is, Joe Rogan said the things, and then someone put it together in a video. It doesn't change the fact that he said it.
Right, exactly.
Regardless of whoever, you know, did
put the video together,
put the video out. Like, you know, it's not, for me, it's not about Democrats, Republicans. Because I've said it before when we talk about politics. 2-party system, Phil, don't like it. All right. I'm not even a progressive or someone that's considered on the left. Okay. I don't like what he said, regardless. I don't care who put it out. It could have been the GOP, for all goodness, that put it out. I still would have been like, he said these things. All right. The fact of the matter is, he said it.
Fact.
He said all of them.
Paul said the difference is I defend Chappelle's right to say a joke that's edgy all day. We all do, right? We all talk about freedom of speech and whatever. You can say whatever you want to, whether like any kind of joke to me, as long as it's funny, right? As long as it's funny, I'll laugh at it. You can make a black joke and I'll laugh my ass off. You know what I mean? As long as it's funny. but I get the context. Like if you're doing a stand-up comedy, I will not take anything a stand-up comedian says personally or offensive. I just won't. I'm not going to do that. I like to laugh. And hey, man, sometimes I find the edgier jokes are the ones that fucking crack me up the most. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I have no problem with
Yeah,
that.
well, that's why we're on MSK's channel.
Yeah, exactly. I would feel like an asshole using the N-word. Absolutely. He became a comedian when comedians stopped being funny. He was a comedian for a long time. He used to go on
Yeah.
tour with Dave Chappelle, right? So he has
He
a
was
lot
a
of
comedian
stories.
before Fear Factor. He was a
Yeah,
comedian.
yeah, 100%.
Like,
Yeah, if you did something, just don't deny the events that took place. Just admit it and keep it pushing.
That's
But
what I
I'm
was
not
saying.
mad at Joe. I don't really watch him anyways.
I'm disappointed more so than anything, man.
I feel you, man. I feel you. He should have more diverse group of guests. He goes for crazy and controversial without having on the less crazy alternatives. He seems to have gone over the edge on crazy. Well, to be honest with you, ever since his thing moved to Spotify, I
That's
haven't
what I was
really
just
watched
gonna
his
say.
show. Yeah, I
I
haven't
used to
watched his
listen
show.
to his show before Spotify.
Yeah, me too. So whatever he's done on Spotify or anything like that, I couldn't tell you because I don't watch it anymore. I think YouTube still puts up clips because I just seen one the other day, but I like his thing stopped showing in my feeds. I completely forgot about him, to be honest with you. You know, when it's not in your face, you forget, and then all of a sudden this shit pops up, and I figured this would be a great conversation to talk about, you know. Camilla, that's what aboutism. Some people in the chat think race and politics are the same conversation. Major problem. Yeah,
facts.
absolutely.
And I don't deal in identity politics or any of that. Like, that's just not my bag.
Yeah, 100. Learn what JB did as a senator 30 years ago or more. His record speaks for itself. Um, and I'm a lefty progressive. Vasco, we said what's up to you. Let's see what's going on here. SSJ, comparing the media attention to certain issues, actually racists aren't being called out. Well, hopefully they start being called out now, you know what I mean? And regardless of what people want to say, the reasons why it came out, the fact is we know kind of the mentality that he has, you know what I mean? Or used to have. I'm not going to say he has that mentality anymore, but used to have. You know, regardless of what you want to say, like Roberto said, Joe Rogan is smart, so he knows that he shouldn't be on his podcast saying the N-word.
That many fucking times.
Facts. Then they go to church, then that's all good.
I had to watch and see if I saw him wearing a shirt more than once when they went through all that nigger clip. Sorry for using the word, but
it's all good. Gonna take generations for that to happen. Camilla, I call out Joe Biden when I can, though, but I can't speak for everyone else.
Facts.
Oh, shit, quite a few there. All right, so we'll get through them and then let old man Roberto get some sleep. Where the fuck was I?
I was gonna say that shit's in the chat.
Hold on, where was I? Okay, there we go. If you use the N-word all the time, obviously others are going to use it. It should be banned overall. That's what we've been saying many times. And if you watch the podcast, we say it all the time. Like, not just white people, black people, we all need to stop using the word because it was a word to bring us down, right? To make us feel like we were inferior people to others. So that word should not be around anymore.
Even though it does have different meanings spelled differently, we've been involved in this word for too fucking long for any other meaning to take place other than what it does.
Facts, 100%. My kids are 21, 20, 19, and 9. And I tell you what, even the oldest one knows y'all say that, but we can't and understand why. Yeah, you see, but that's the thing. Now, if your kids, and I don't know, I'm not speaking sci-fi because I don't know, but if they were hanging around this generation of black youth, then it would be like, hey, yeah, because they would be saying it to them. And if they're in the crew, then hey, you can say it back to us, right? So they're using the word as a term of endearment, but at the end of the day, that word was never meant for that. So,
could I say something else before
yeah,
we
absolutely.
go? I have a friend,
for example,
a white friend who grew up in the hood amongst all of us West Indian and Scotian brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
At no point during our upbringing could I recall once that black people, us or any other black people, circled him and called him, what do we used to call them, honkies?
Mm-hmm.
Ever
Right.
degrading his color at
Right.
any time. Never. And I don't think it's ever or hardly ever done with us doing it to them, because there's always some white people in the hood who just, for whatever reason ended up there. They're not degraded for their color. They might be getting beaten, picked on like anybody else, but it's never a racial thing.
100%.
Why does it have to be the opposite?
We grew up with a bunch of white friends, you know what I mean? Never once used those.
You wouldn't even stand for it.
My husband loved rap music. He would be singing the songs. When that word came on, he would not say the word in the song.
Mm-hmm. 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 And I know a few people that won't do that, right? And that's the thing. So if that's the case, right, and we're trying to make music and all that stuff, does that word really need to be in our music? I don't think so. I really don't think it does. Kid, I said, yeah, it's better off not using it, but I can't stop other blacks from using it. I can only start in my little village first. It takes a whole village to stop it. That's 100%.
Yeah, also, I wanted to hear your opinion though on. Oh, sorry.
That's true.
Yeah, I want to hear your opinion also on who was it again? Kendrick Lamar. Like that whole incident with the white person who like went up on stage and said the N-word by accident because it was in the song. What's your take on that?
Okay, so you see now this is it, right? He went up on stage. He's singing a Kendrick Lamar song.
Well,
she okay. She's singing it because I didn't know the story, but I'll just tell you what I think. But she's singing a song. She says the word. It's in the fucking song. I'm not gonna be.
Yeah, I know. So the whole crowd, including white people, said it in the crowd, but so they're kind of hypocrites booing her.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be mad at that. You know what I mean? Like that's why I said, like, if we're putting it in our music, we can't expect people to not say the word when they're singing.
And the girl's in the moment. She's in the moment.
I know.
Yes.
What is she supposed to?
Yeah, she's just trying to get the lyrics right.
Yeah,
she's trying to get the lyrics right, so she's not even thinking about that in the moment.
Exactly.
On stage in front of all those people. She regretted it right away and apologized, but people are still booing her, and he was still criticizing it.
Yeah, they drugged that girl. Like I remember that. Like
wow.
Like yeah, they did. I mean, and like I said, I bring up the situation where my husband, he wouldn't say it. But if someone it's also very easy if you're listening to a song or even like on stage in that situation, someone brings you on stage and you're trying to remember the lyrics and you're singing the song and that word happens. Mm-hmm. I'm not offended in that situation either.
Right.
I felt like that they kind of like just went overboard, So
Kendrick got on her.
I don't know if
everyone else. No. Everyone else got on her.
Okay.
No, everybody else. No.
He's saying that Kendrick got on her. That's for saying
I think he kind of I don't think he got on. He didn't drag her and make her. He just got. I feel like I got to remember the video. I feel like he kind of just like his eyes got real big, but I can't really remember what his reaction was. Sean, do you remember?
Oh yeah, I remember. I don't remember what exactly you said.
Okay, so did he get on her for saying it though?
You're a fucking hypocrite. I think a little bit, but
then you're
I think he gave her like a second chance to like saying it again without it.
Come on.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Put the lyric in the song.
Exactly.
And there's some rappers. There's some black.
Sings it.
Yeah, there's some black rappers that said that came out afterwards and said, "Hey, you can say it. It's fine when you come to my show, or I don't worry about that."
You know what? I would respect them if they said, "You know what? I say this in my album, And if you can't respect by not saying it, don't buy my album.
Right.
And then let him live off of the sales that he makes off of people who can't say the word. Or
You
not.
know?
You know what I mean?
Not or can say, yeah.
I agree. If he had a reaction to it, it's slow, and he brings her up. I mean,
that's entrapment.
I know. I feel like it was. I feel like she's.
Yeah,
I remember when that happened. I felt bad for that girl. I felt bad for her though. I really.
You know what she should have did? She should have just paused and said, "Can I?"
Yeah,
say
there's
it?
like this YouTuber who does
Can I
like
say
comedic
it? And the crowd would go, "No." And then she'd go along, and it'd be a great debate
Yeah, but
over
the whole
social
crowd
media.
said it
Right?
as well. They're hypocrites for bitter. They said it. Like people in the crowd, they were saying it out loud. He also does this like YouTuber Inc. I don't know if you know.
Or she
does,
could
like,
have admitted.
he does
Sorry, go
comedic
ahead.
skits. He made like a video parodying that. It was like that one song where it's just like N-word, 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 N-word. I'm 100% N-word. You know what song I'm talking about? He just does a parody that just.
Yeah.
Why was I invited up here?
100%. Roberto, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, she could have just moved the mic from her mouth and gave it to him. Let him say it, and then bring it back to her mouth.
But you see, but you gotta understand though. This is
it's in the moment, right?
You're right. Excited to
You're
be
at a concert.
I know. We're asking a lot. We're asking a lot.
Right.
So
yeah, no.
It's really.
Yeah.
How you are in that moment, you know.
Too bad it wasn't. You know, I couldn't even say too bad it wasn't 15 years ago because this word is just never accepted. So
right.
Yeah, like if you're on a podcast like MSK's and they're all saying edgy jokes and in the moment and stuff, and since they're all saying it, you're going to say edgy jokes as well. That doesn't mean on any other scenario you say edgy jokes.
Right. Absolutely. 100%.
Exactly.
Honestly, I would be okay it being a federal law to ban the N-word altogether. Yeah, but they wouldn't. That wouldn't happen. I'd be okay with it too.
Can't have another reason to arrest brothers. Sorry, man.
Yeah, good point. The word bastard is similar. My uncle was called a cheap bastard in front of my grandmother, and she was so offended that the person who said it was banned from the family. Yeah, I guess
that one time I saw like a movie and I didn't know what that word meant, Mads. I didn't even know it was a bad word. Kid didn't even know what it was. It was like on like a made for TV movie. Like no, bastard. Like that word. And I was playing with my uncle. I was like, oh yeah, bastard. Oh, I got it.
Does it mean something else here?
I had no clue. I didn't know what it meant. I had no clue. But yeah, I don't call people that word. You know, learn that
what
lesson.
If you call them a fucking bastard?
Well, I would have said that. I really would have got it.
You'd have been disowned, man.
Yeah.
Facts. So sci-fi
9 years old.
So if I call y'all racist for saying honky, how would that play out? Then he said jokes. But yeah, go ahead.
My friends laughed at me and told me, "Is that the best I can come up with when I call
for real?"
Yeah. So that word had had no effect on any of my white friends. I'm sorry.
Neither does cracker.
It probably is a huge insult because you know they probably grew up during those times, so they might actually be a bastard.
Oh yeah, the bastard might be an insult.
I'm talking about
the honky word.
I'm not calling people honky. But if another funny story is my husband. He used to call everybody crackers. He would be like, you know how people, what up? He would be like, what up, cracker? Like so, but he would say it. I mean, but I wouldn't say that. He said it.
Remember when we told Danny about honky, how he laughed?
Yes,
because
I've heard the word honky before,
and because even if you call them honky or crackers, that word has no effect on them. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm honky, okay. You know what I mean? Like it has no effect.
Well, the cracker thing is.
I'm a saltine.
Where's the relevance?
The whip of the
crack. Yeah, right.
That's where it comes from. And crack. The sound the whip makes. Right?
It goes crack or crack.
Well,
cracker.
The crack sound that the whip would make, and then they started, and then the cracker
added the
But it's
It doesn't hold
But
the
I'm not.
same
But I'm not
luggage.
calling. I just be like, yeah. I just
We had no
think
comeback. We had no comeback as kids. If they
Right.
call us the N-word, we had nothing to call them.
Absolutely.
At least if they were from another country, we could say, go back to your country, you
immigrant. Yeah.
That's all we could use.
Facts.
So we had no real fire other than to just bust their head.
Facts. Matt said, bastard was a huge insult in my grandmother's time. Ashley just texted me and said, DC.
That's a lie. I didn't do that.
I'm just saying I can see it changing meaning over time, but this wasn't just the word. Well, that's the thing. If it does change, it's going to be over time. But with the way the generations are going, that word's going to live on. Like the N-word's going to live on. That's a terrible joke.
And in our country, you can't go around start banning words because of
freedom of speech. Mm-hmm. You can see Joey Diaz didn't even laugh in that video. Yeah, that's what Roberto noticed. And even the other one, he did kind of laugh, but
he laughed like out of joke.
Like a bad
like did you really say that?
Right.
Did you really say that? Like
if it quacks like a duck, Joe, it's been saying some slick shit. I don't fuck with him at all. You see, that's the thing. Since, like I said, since he left the YouTube, I don't. So I don't know of all the slick stuff he's been saying. But I'm definitely probably going to do some research and check it out, you know? Chillmonger said, Roberto's issue isn't the joke or who laughed. It's the apology. That is correct. Mm-hmm. Joe Rogan is a crazy rich white dude. Keep that in mind and proceed with caution. He is there to make money, not to bring truth to the world. And that's a good point as well. Sorry, I wasn't trying to get you heated. Just a white boy here, familiar with black culture as much as I can be. That's okay. You weren't the one getting us heated, bro. We're good. You know what I mean? This is O.O.C. Get off your chest.
Sorry if I'm getting too personal, but I just had to ask because you said, you said like your husband doesn't use the M word, so I just had to ask, is he like black or
who?
Widow's like husband or something.
My late husband, he was white.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, if he was black, then yeah, there's another example. You know, people they don't want to use that word either.
But even still, we don't. Like even me, like I remember one time I was on a stream with Donnie and them, and the word slipped out, and I was like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? But I try really hard not to say the word anymore because it's just disrespectful to us.
You know, I've only said the word once by accident because on MSK stream. They were talking about it. They were like They were like, "Hey, you can use the word. It's fine if you're white." So I just said it as a because we're all just having fun as a joke. So I said it with the A at the end. You know, just a joke. And I was just gonna say it when I said because they were always talking about Canadians get a free pass, you know, because it's so nice. So I was gonna make a joke saying N-word is sure is rainy today. A with the A at the end, you know, with Canadian because they made that joke.
Yeah.
I accidentally combined the word with the A at the end and and said the actual word with the ER at the end. That's the only time in my life where I ever said it.
And you know what? It'll slip up. I've slipped up. You know what I mean? People slip up and say the word. You know, at the end of the day, like I said, like at the end there's levels to the racism or whatever. What makes it so? Let's get back to the comments real quick. Pillowshead said the three guys that made the complication.
Yeah, MSK is white. K-Dots
of Rogan's word or Democrat. Okay, so we discussed that one. Pillowhead. They also said the N-word in 2014. Yeah, but again, I'm not going to criticize what other people do. We're talking about Joe Rogan. There's a lot of people out there.
Did I see something about the Democratic Party is behind this?
Yeah. Yeah, you did. Right there. Yeah, I know, Roberto. Roberto always gets into, like, I know somewhere Democrats are going to be put involved in that, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's always. And the thing is, it's not like as a Black American, man. I'm not out here repping for the Democrats. Like, I'm not out here like, you know, I know what they've done and what they don't do, right? Mm-hmm. I know what promises were made. I know Kamala Harris's own record when she was the Attorney General. in the state of California, in the harsh sentencing she opposed on her own community and people of brown and black descent all alike. So I'm very aware of who she is and what her record is, and Joe Biden as well.
Absolutely. Paul said Trevor Noah actually talking about canceling him now. Cool. He is as unfunny as he is unauthentic. Well, I don't remember him saying anything about canceling Joe Rogan in that video. So Trevor Noah is a disease. That girl speaks truth. What's her YouTube link? You're talking about Ashley? That's the widow. Sci-fi. Sci-fi is cool. I like sci-fi. He'll always be Joe Rogan from Fear Factor. For real though.
Oh yeah.
That made people eat fucking cow balls.
Yeah,
cow testicles. Nasty.
You know, Jackass has done as well, and in a recent film as well. But remember that episode where they like made the contestants drink like animal cum?
Yeah, I remember that one too.
Yeah,
they did it. They do it in Jackass as well. They did it with the horse, and in the recent one, they did it with pig.
George Washington forewarned of the two-party system, and look where we are in the U.S. today. I'm sure my neighbors would be grateful if I stopped listening to Spotify, as I tend to sing along. But Onzo, a lot of mofo's not funny. I agree. If you watch some of those recent comedy shows on Netflix, they're not funny at all. I'm sorry. Freedom of speech is not freedom from the consequences from that speech. That is correct as well.
True.
100%.
That's the world we live in.
Yep.
Thank you, Mads.
You're welcome. Anzo, there's a reason why I don't talk about dating black girls in Shanwa. I need to get the setup and punchline right without it coming off the wrong way. There ain't nothing wrong with dating black girls. And Andrea put your link in the chat, and it's in the video as well, so no problem. The day Joe really not sorry about shit, whether he's racist or not, all he cares about is his bag. That is correct. I'm on my phone, so dropping links takes ages. It's okay, Mads. Appreciate you anyways. Yeah, we appreciate you. And Sci-Fi said he just subbed, so there you go.
And I'm gonna, when you
go ahead.
I know V-Dot is tripping again. You do not like WandaVision. I love WandaVision. I did not send you no message.
You know what?
WandaVision is trash. He's loving it tonight, ain't he?
Yeah. Let B-Dots keep continuing. We're gonna time him out. See how he likes that.
Come out, my little baby.
Fuck you, K-Dots. What the hell?
N-word, colored, Negroes. Sorry if that upsets y'all. Are derogatory. That is correct, 100%. The problem with JB is that he never apologized for saying those racist things. Racism is racism. Doesn't matter how it's measured. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm left for like 5 minutes, so it must have been when I was gone. I just saw the donation from K-Dots. Why is that white donut Sean here?
Oh shit, I got two of them there, so I'll get to those ones in a second.
And Sean Tight.
The first one, yeah.
Appreciates A24 movies. Yes, thank you.
Can't ban a word, just make it unacceptable and let it fall out of favor. Absolutely, Dandelion, 100%. Onzo, I was saying that to certain black friends because I was his, and he knew the difference between that name and real people. I feel you. K-Dot said, I like Kendrick, but he was dumb for bringing that girl on. He knew damn well she was going to say the word. Then he got on her for saying it. Okay. Kendrick didn't drag her, but he set up the girl for failure. Should have never asked her to come on stage if he had an issue with her potentially saying it. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, she did. He did give her like a second chance, but I shouldn't have.
But the other people were dragging her like about it.
Yeah, and they said it.
Yeah.
I love Kendrick Lamar, but he set that girl up. The crowd said it too, and then started booing after Kendrick checked her for it. Kendrick embarrassed her for no reason at all. Bastard means you don't know who your daddy is. Absolutely. Brel Kendrick got her in the Jada Pinkett entrapment. I'm a saltine. It's okay, Sci-Fi. We get it. Tom Harlan, Spider-Man's a bastard. His parents, Uncle Ben, I mean, God. Really, K-Dot?
See?
We tried to keep it real.
But Toby's you know, he got parents, right? His Spider-Man got parents.
If someone is calling me a cracker, I'll just look at you and think you're referring to me to a food item that I can consume when I get the munchies. Thank you. Yeah, it has no effect on people.
Yeah.
I'm one of those spicy cheese crackers. Definitely. Definitely.
That's what I got. Has there ever been a person that got offended by the word cracker?
I don't think so.
I think it's kind of
It just reminds me of a skit that Richard Pryor did on Saturday Night Live with Chevy Chase.
Yeah,
and
it just reminds me of like Trailer Park Boys.
They were doing the word association, and Chevy Chase said the N-word. No, he said black derogatory word, and then Richard Pryor said the H word, honky, right? And then he said the N-word, and then Richard Pryor was like dead honky. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was funny. I remember that. But
they used to like people in Kentucky used to call them honky tonks.
Yeah. Your mama's so fat her phone number has 3 area codes. Think I missed this one here. Your mama's so fat she has her own orbit. Wait, what? And here we go with the $2 super chat from K-Dot. He said, I repeat, why is that white donut Sean here? Damn.
Powdered donut?
Get mama jokes in there. Sean tight though, he the only one that appreciates A24.
I like A24 movies too, Sean.
Yeah, the best movies.
And Sci-Fi Nation sent the $2 super chat. I'm a pink skin. Yeah, but you're a cool dude, Sci-Fi. You know, we've always been cool and everything. Good night, Dandelion. Let's see what else we got here. Perp said, POC needs to stop being a term as well. Shit is dumb.
Yes, it is. Because you're still like referring to people as colored.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, well, I gotta go now because MSK wants to do a review of
I was just gonna ask what
I don't know if you're
is.
about to end though.
Yeah,
thanks
cool.
for having me on.
No problem, Andrea.
Good
We're gonna
talking to
shut
you,
it up
John.
soon anyways, but peace out. What were you gonna say, Roberto?
I said I was gonna ask what POC is, but I figured
Yeah, me too.
People of color.
Ah, got you. Yeah, I don't like that either. I don't like that. I thought you meant POC at first. I cringed before I read that fully. Yeah. Oh, wait, never mind. Hear me out on this. I like POC being used because it tells me that no black person was consulted in whatever the statement is. I don't know, man. I just think, POC, Negro, all those words. Just call us black people, man. That's it. Not African.
African,
black.
Canadian.
We don't have that here. That's
I
what
know.
bothered-
I'm
yeah.
messing with you. I'm messing with you.
Did you see that video with what's his name from Public Enemy? What's the lead singer's name again?
Chuck D?
Chuck D?
No.
How he doesn't refer to himself as an African American, he refers to himself as a black man.
As he should.
Yeah.
Yeah, as he should.
And I think that should be our next show, The Great Debate. Why African American and nowhere else?
We could do that. We could definitely do that. I think that sounds like a great show. Ashley, you're invited if you want to come on.
Please, Widow, please.
Yeah.
There we go. And Roberto's been asking about you. Like he asked.
Yeah, I was going to send a search party out for you, but I don't know where you live.
Happy to be here.
Happy to have
Always
you. Absolutely.
welcome.
And with this last one, agree, Perp. I never understood why that was a term. I mean, white people change colors when they get mad, happy, mad, sad, happy, hot, cold. Yeah, they do. Absolutely. 100%. Chuck D. I mean, if I start being in the sun too long, then I start looking orange like Trump. For real.
Stay out the sun, Andrea.
For real.
We don't want you to get mistaken.
As soon as I hear someone say POC, I automatically think you don't know black people. That is correct. African Canadians. No, we're not. But
Hashtag African Canadians. Normalize it. Not gotta be an African American. You gotta be an African Canadian.
Right.
Red tail jokes. Sci-Fi said, awesome show today. Thank you very much. Next week we will have another banger. We'll have that topic. We'll also see what else we could talk about as well.
Danny's around.
For that one, yeah.
Yeah, if he does a 30-minute stream beforehand, maybe we can get him.
Yeah, probably.
Time limit.
And yeah, we'll have some fire topics as well. I do
I'll do
appreciate
some
everybody
research.
that came in here. See, she's gonna find some shit for us to talk about too. Roberto's been lacking with the subject matter for the
I'm
episodes.
not lacking,
you know what I mean?
because you know it's hard to get on the show sometimes, let alone come with a topic. I'm just hoping next week I can get in with the intro. You know, I had a nice topic. I forgot trying to get online, man.
My bad,
You
bro.
was stuck. But you sent him the link. I
Did
thought
you see
said
the way he was ignoring me?
I did.
I was on the chat and I was like, look at Andrea. He's like, hey, Roberto's here. I'm like,
I
is
told
he
him
not
you were
reading
here
the
too.
chat?
He wasn't, because I saw him go, yo, and I was like, Roberto's here.
I seen you after. I seen you after, and then I looked at my phone and I seen I had like 3 fucking messages from you, and I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't see those ones before."
Maybe
I don't look at my phone hardly ever once the stream starts.
I get that. I get that Bing all the time at 9:30. He sends me the link, and I know we're not on to like 10 after 10 because it's the other show.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, it was like 10 to 10. I didn't get nothing. Or at least I didn't know because I was outside.
Right.
But when I came in, first thing I did was check, and I was like, oh, snap.
I think I sent the link a couple of days ago because I put the stream up a couple of days ago, or yesterday I could have sent the link, but the one I sent you wasn't working. Yeah.
Because you know why? When you send me the link, you're usually the top person on the chat.
Right.
When I kept opening the chat and seeing that it was from Facebook, Facebook Market, I'm like, I guess we ain't doing the show today.
Yeah.
Because it's like 9:30 and I didn't even get the link yet because your name wasn't there.
Yeah.
It was 3 down.
Yeah. It was because I sent it the night before.
It's all good. It's all good, man. You know, I'm just asking you, don't do it next week because I don't want to be up till 1:30, man.
No problem.
I think you did this on purpose, to keep me up late.
You know how we do. The show was fire, and
yeah, it was
the last
fire.
Topic, you know what I mean? Had you not even
and the
realizing
widow's
what
here,
time
so
it was.
You know,
facts. Yeah. Can't complain about that one.
I'm glad you came, Roberto.
I'm glad you're here.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
I'm gonna sleep better tonight knowing that you're alive.
All right, shit. You know what? It's all love over here, man. We love having Ashley on here. Sean came on. You know, it was great having him on here as well. You know what I mean? I stream with him all the time on MSK stream and stuff like that. So he's a cool dude as well. You know what I mean? Plus we have Andrea on here, and other people can come on if they want to. That's how we do it over here.
White or black? Because
just not be
he's white.
I'm just checking because there's some West Island black guys that sound like Sean. So I'm just checking. I'm just checking.
And definitely want to get Perp on here sometime. Roberto, you're from the West Indies. If so, what part? My pops is from St. Lucia.
Well, I'm born up in Montreal, but the fam comes from Yard. You notice Nzo picked up a bit of the accent because he was hanging by my crib growing up.
Every fucking day.
You know what I mean?
Every day. You know what I mean? So
and that was the lingo growing up because majority of the people in Côte-de-Neige were from Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of Jafakans,
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of Jafakans, guys that I thought were from Jamaica.
Yeah,
not Anjo. I'm just saying because there's some guys they spoke patois better than me.
Right.
And then you go to a party in another district, say NDG or so, and you walk in the room and you see this guy talking, you're like, hey, you ain't Jamaican?
He's Scotian.
Yeah, man, I'm Scotian. I'm like, fuck, you're good, yo. You're good.
Scotian.
They were just trying to be cool like you all. That's all it was.
It's not even that. It's just that everybody, when you meet someone from another country, you start talking broken English just to make them feel comfortable. Yes. It's almost the same thing. Everybody's talking with that accent, so you tend to pick it up and start shortening words and using different syllables to end your words,
Absolutely, 100%.
I had a cool Jamaican friend let me know what a spliff was. Now when I've heard Nzo say it, I knew what he meant. I was like, what the fuck is a spliff?
Why? What do you call it? A joint?
I smoke blunts. I call it
only blunts.
Yeah.
Nice.
You hear what she said? She's like, yeah. Like, don't be embarrassed.
Don't beat it around the bush. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
You know, if I'm lazy, I might pack a cone, you know. But yeah.
See, that's what they say, Roberto. They pack a cones. We roll up blood clots.
Oh,
spliffs.
so that's what they call pre-rolls, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you say, pack a cone?
Yeah.
Pack a cone sounds better than pre-roll. Trust me.
It
Pre-roll
does.
sounds like you're handicapped.
Pre-roll is what you buy and it's already rolled.
Already rolled.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like when it comes already in the form of the blunt with nothing in it, we call those pre-rolls too. Because somebody already rolled it for you.
Yeah.
You just got to stick the weed in now.
You got to break it up. You got to get that tobacco out there.
You got to do some work still, right?
Yeah.
Shit, Ashley, tell the people about your channel real quick.
The Widow. I back.
I thought you were ending it with that. I was like, that's quick, man. That's quicker than mine.
Talk about, you know, Marvel, B-Dot's favorite thing in the whole wide world, and, you know, repping that, you know, Spider-Man life.
Facts, 100%. Roberto.
1.7 billion.
Facts.
Damn.
And the Batman's only making about 700 to 800 million. Just putting that out there.
I think it might make $1 billion though.
Ashley, come on, no.
Did you already see the new Batman?
Not yet. It comes out in March. But I'm gonna clip because we had a question on the chaos list about that, and I am going to clip and put it up there what I think about this fucking Batman movie because of Nerdman. Because of fucking Nerdman, I want this movie to flop worse than any fucking movie that DC has done so far. Just because of Nerdman.
But I will say, I'm not worried about like getting my tickets, you know, ahead of time because I know that when I go to the theater, tickets will be available.
Right. At least you guys can go. I'm hoping they fucking drop the passport mandate so that I can go see a fucking movie again, you know, but I don't think that's happening by the time Batman comes out, but we'll see. Chillmonger said, I didn't know Spliff was Jamaican. Yes, yeah, Spliff is Jamaican, you know, and I want you guys, if any of you haven't, if you guys want to see a real good Jamaican movie, go watch Shotas. If any of you have Shotas, Shottas, Shotas. I'll put it in the chat. Ziggy Marley is in it as well. Is Ziggy, Roberto? Is Ziggy that's in Shotas? Yeah, Ziggy Marley's in it. It's a really good movie, man. Love it.
Again, I tell every time this movie is mentioned, this is real yard
Jamaican.
talk.
Yes.
This is not like Steven Seagal's movie. What was that one called?
March for Death.
March for Death. I think there was one Jamaican in that whole movie.
Right.
Oh yeah, I've heard. Like,
you guys said ready. He was the only Jamaican in that movie.
Yeah. And Shotas, the patois is so strong in there. They have subtitles for you guys. So
I know it's strong because I literally like would be on the phone with my friend and we'd be talking and she'd be talking just normal and then like she'd be talking to somebody in her family straight. I'm like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't know us, you know. And then so
that's a wicked movie.
Chaotic Truth Live. Is there a StreamYard link? No, because we are closing it up now. And I'm not exactly sure I've seen you around or know who you are, but hey, man, my Twitter handle's there. Message me on there. And, you know, if you have anything you want to talk about, we could try that shit, you know?
Lord have his mercy.
Zine, for real. Roberto, tell the people about your channel, sir.
Not much to say, yo. You can find me here
trying
to get on sometimes. And again, I can't put a date or a time on when I'm going to get back to my show. Maybe I have to link up with LDG and see if I'm going to get my other show going because I ain't feeling the momentum on the original one I did. I'm still up in the air, so I don't know, but I didn't even check how many followers I have to see if I'm at 100 to get pumped. I doubt I am, but yeah, that's my status, yo.
Absolutely. No problem, Sci-Fi Man. I'll let you know next weekend, next Wednesday when we do it.
But much love to my cricket crew.
Forward Panda Stream Star. Absolutely. Chillmonger's trying. He's from Toronto. He's trying to get that patois in there. You get it?
Yeah?
Get it? Yeah.
T-Dot love.
Facts. Cool dude too, man. I like Chillmonger, man. And everybody in here that came and watched us and enjoyed the show. We did 3 hours and 25 minutes today. It was fire. We'll try to keep it to 2 hours next week. But I mean, if we got a fire topic, we'll see how it goes. But again, once again, I thank everybody. It's appreciative, enjoy it. Facts.
Thanks
with that
for
being
having
said,
me again. I want to say that.
I appreciate
much
you
love. Much love, Widow.
And stop thanking us because you'll be back here next week and you'll
I
be
know,
thanking
but
us.
still,
You'll be thanking us next week for having you on again.
I gotta say thank you.
Well, she has to say thank you for all the time she's been MIA up in this
Facts.
But we're glad to have you back and looking forward to many more.
Yes.
That is correct. Peace, love, and hair grease. See you on the next one, guys.
Yes.